All right, everybody, welcome into the high noon edition of Pugs and Company. You're heard each and every Monday through Friday, noon till about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Thereabouts. We'll play it by ear, but typically you get about 2 hours of this out of me. Now, that's not all you're getting. That's right, Pugs. Isn't there another show? Yeah, there is. We do something at nighttime, too. We call that the Pillow Talk Edition. Pillow Talk Edition, that's a little bit more light, a little bit more loose. We typically have a number of people joining me, thus the End Company. And, like last night, we spent pretty much the whole show just looking at pictures of NFL quarterbacks if they were women and deciding whether or not we'd want to, so that's what we do on the nighttime show. This is a bit more utilitarian. What we like to accomplish here is provide you with a bit of a prep sheet, a cheat sheet, if you will, cliff notes for your day, everything and anything that people are talking about. We cover trending topics. We cover current events. We cover things that are, hot topics, whatever you want. If it is something that is being discussed in this particular day, we like to go through it. And we start out each and every one. Programming note. So here's a new idea that we were forced by some technical limitations over the last couple of weeks to not be able to include the And Company. And because of this, I have been doing a show by myself. As opposed to shows where I would, usually have a number of people there to talk to. Hi, Steve. Steve's always the first guy in with the afternoon. Afternoon, Steve. And although I had said that, I didn't prefer doing shows by myself, and I don't know that I prefer doing shows by myself. I've always, in 25 years now, 25, oh my God. It's more than that, but we won't say how much, of doing radio in whether it was Chicago or Dallas. I have always done a style of radio, conversational chemistry, ensemble radio, partnership radio, where it's not just somebody alone in the room talking. So I guess my comfort level was always with conversational type situations. But that doesn't work anymore. Honestly, there is probably a muscle that I have in my head, in my bag of abilities to do this to whatever level that may be. Maybe it's not a great bag, but whatever. I have done this, so I have proven that I can do this. By that, I mean broadcast a show. But I don't know that I've ever really tweaked the muscle that allows me to do it by myself until recently. And I tell you, man, the strangest thing happened. It was always a fear. It was always not a fear. It's not like, I'm afraid to do it. No, it was always, that's not going to sound good. It's not going to be comfortable for me. I'm not going to enjoy that. I was forced to get over that. I was forced to actually do it myself for a period of time. And I kind of enjoyed that new muscle flexing, that new style, that new, I swear to God, there was like an endorphin rush that typically didn't come from, the old kind of radio. Maybe it did at some point when I would work with people and, the conversational give and take. And boy, there is nothing, but I'll tell you, I still maintain this. There is nothing better than when you're with a partner on the air and something is really working and the give and take is working and you're finishing each other's sentences and everything they're saying is making you giggle and everything you're saying is making them giggle and you just know it's work. That's fantastic. That is something that can't be beat. But there's also something strange that occurs when I'm forced to just talk extemporaneously for an hour or 2 hours. It sounds like madness, but it really is a thing, and I've discovered that. So here's what we're going to be doing now. We're going to try it. We're just going to try it. Here's what we're going to be doing now on the High Noon Show. For the first hour, it's just going to be me alone. And I'm going to run through topics, and I'm just going to sort of freeball everything that's on my mind and all of this stuff. Then in the second hour, because I really don't want to abandon the conversational chemistry aspects of what it is we do here. And then the second hour at 1 o'clock, we're going to bring in my partner, my co-host, my buddy, Uncle E to the kids around this place. We're going to bring in E the artist, and he's going to join me for the second hour. And, I have always, to a degree, felt a little bit guilty about, making him, because I make no mistake, I would like made him. I'm like, dude, you got to do this with me. You can't send me out there alone, man. I can't be out there alone. And so he's been pretty much tabling his entire day so that he can have 2 hours to just sit there and, so that I can have somebody to either, yell at or make fun of or whatever. But, so I do need him and I do want him. And he's been cool enough to say, yeah, man, that's all right. You do whatever you got to do for the first hour. He goes, I'll just be around at 1 o'clock and then I'll chime in. So that's how this is going to go from this point forward. And I hope you guys are cool with it. If it doesn't work, then, we'll go back to the old way. But this is just sort of the way that I want to try and do it. Okay, so let's start out here. What do you say? What do you say we start out with a moment of joy? Huh? No, we already got problems. Oh, it's already out of them. You know what I'm going to miss? I'm going to miss being able to say to somebody else that's on the air with me, is this Sharon? Is it working? Can you see it on the screen? Because I have to go into a different window in order to do this. It's absolute madness. Moment of joy coming, folks. My gift to you every day at the start of the show, I try and give you, I don't know, just something a little silly, something a little bit fun. Last night we talked, or no, maybe it was yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday during the noon show. We talked about this ridiculous neighborhood, how everybody in this neighborhood is Christmasing the F out of this place. I mean, thousands and thousands of dollars are spent on these, 10,000 square foot, $10 million mansions to make them look Christmassy. And I made a distinction between the kinds of Christmas, like the guy in your neighborhood that does the fun stuff. He's got a garage and a shed just filled with the animatronic stuff and the music and the blinking lights and craziness. That guy's awesome too. That guy's really into it. But this neighborhood doesn't have any of that. This neighborhood doesn't have any of the kind of stuff that you might find in a normal people neighborhood. You know what this neighborhood has? Every single house looks like the Ritz-Carlton downtown. Every single house looks like the nicest hotel in Midtown Manhattan. That's what every house. There no blinking lights. No, almost all the lights are just yellow or gold, I guess would be that color. I mean, there's some great. None of them blink. There are no plastic Santa and sleigh on the roof. None of that. It all looks like the Four Seasons Hotel. Everything is just amazing. Ain't my thing. I'll show you what I prefer. This is what I prefer. Look at this guy. This guy is going full bore in the other direction. This guy created a Christmas spectacle in his front yard, a tribute, an ode to one of the best Christmas movies, by my estimation, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Here it is. Let's see what the Griswold-themed Christmas site looks like here. Oh, look at Clark. It's that time. Oh, there it is, buddy. Christmas time is here. What's his name? Eddie. Everybody knows there's not a better time of year. Nothing best for you, Clark. Oh, there's the family truckster with that giant-ass tree on it.
Christmas vacation.
Police car? Why not? Merry Christmas, boys. Oh, it looks like nice thing. There you go. That put you in the Christmas mood. Isn't that cool? That's pretty cool. I think that's kind of cool. I like Christmas. Not so much this year. I'll get into it. I'll get into my Christmas laments as we move closer to the holiday. Today is the 7th of December, a day that will live in infamy. It is the 341st day of the year, the 342nd if we're counting leap year. And we don't do that communist BS around here. Let's see, 24 days remain until the end of the year. And by my count, 18 days until Christmas. Like I said, I don't know. You got an advent calendar? Are you doing that? Count them yourself. Why do you rely on me for these things? This is not my job. On this day, why today is pretty rootin' tootin'. See, that's another. Every day I'm going to have a different name for this segment because I can't call it why today doesn't suck, because here locally in Dallas, the great Bob Sturm has been doing that bit on the ticket, why today doesn't suck, for, I don't know, at least 20 years by my count. But I reject the idea of not being able to do this to any extent, because as I said, I was doing this in the 1990s in Chicago for another show. It was just called Today in History. So today we're calling it Why Today is the Rootinest, Tootinest Day Ever. December 7th, 1941. Wow, that's kind of an odd transition. Of course, Pearl Harbor, the attack on Pearl Harbor. The Imperial Japanese Navy carries out a surprise attack on the United States Pacific Fleet and its defending army, Marines, and Air Forces, all stationed at Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. Yeah, there you go. All right, so what can we say about Pearl Harbor? That had what, Pugs? What can you say about the attacks on Pearl Harbor that will enlighten us and make us understand it a little bit clearer and a little bit more? There's nothing. Bad times. I mean, it's what got us into the war, right? I mean, that was pretty much it. They poked the bear and the bear clawed back. So it was on this day in 1941, December 7th, a day that will live in infamy. Also on this day in 1963, remember, the segment's called Why Today's the Rootinest, Tootinest Day of All Time. On this day in 1963, instant replay was invented and used for the very first time during an Army-Navy football game. Imagine how. Did you guys hear that? That wasn't even a burp. That was an odd. Did you catch that? Whole thing just went. That was just like an explosion of. I haven't eaten anything today, so maybe that's what that was. I typically have a little lunch after the stream cast here. What do you think the instant replay looked like in 1963? Just clunky. And I mean, it had to have been in black and white, right? And it would have obviously been a tape. So it would have been a very early version of like what maybe we'd call a VHS tape, although I can't imagine it was a VHS tape. So I bet when they showed the first instant replay, I bet you actually saw it go backwards. You know, and I bet there was like all kinds of like static. But it was terrible. Instant replay is pretty good now, though, boy. I'll tell you. You know, instant replay on live sports, when you watch them, they do a fantastic job. But our ability now at home to create our own instant replays on every play, like with the, whatever it is that you use. I watch almost all of my television on a laptop or a pad, right? So it's, I can pause anything I'm watching live. I can go back. I can slow stuff down. I can go beep, 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 beep. So, by today's standard, I bet that was crap in 1963. On this day, instant replay was invented. Here's another one. Now, this is a strange situation, folks. You're going to be like, Pugs, why are you so dark? It's not that I'm dark. It's just that... So, last Friday, my son and I had a pretty heavy conversation about school shootings. I had my son for the weekend, and it was actually started by me. I wanted to know what his active shooter drills in class were like. Because I wanted to know what he was going through. I wanted to know what sort of plans the school had for these kinds of situations. And he told me, and we started talking, and then he had a whole bunch of questions. And, one of the things that I'm most proud of as far as my relationship with my son now, and he's 12. So, oh God, this is going to change. But right now at 12 years old, we have a really good open dialogue. Like, he can ask me anything about anything. And I have so far been able to give him answers that encourages him to ask more questions in the future. So we're still good on that front. So he started asking me questions like, he's like, why do people do that? I'm like, well, and that started a very deep and I don't know, heavy conversation about everything. We covered the whole gamut from, first of all, I established that anybody that would do that has some form of mental illness. And he's like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Like they're all crazy? I go, yes, of course you're crazy. I go, you're not a normal functioning human being if you consider slaying multiples of people, strangers at random. If you consider that an option for anything, whether you feel slighted or bullied or whatever, if that is an option, you're suffering some form of mental illness, because normal people would never do that. So we talked about that. We talked about access to guns. We talked about all kinds of things, right? But then after that was over, I felt that he had never heard of Columbine. And it makes sense. He's 12 years old. I mean, and I tried to explain to him, what how it started was he said, did you have to do these when you were in school? And I'm like, no, we didn't have active shooter drills. That wasn't a thing. That wasn't a thing when I was in school. Thankfully, we had other issues, very early in my childhood. We had like duck and cover drills. I can remember those in like first grade and second grade, but then they stopped. We didn't do those throughout like, elementary school and junior high. Those were Cold War drills. Those were drills, in case the bombs are falling, get under your desk. That'll do the trick. It was like ridiculous. So, I said, yeah, I don't really remember school shootings being a thing until Columbine. And he said, what's Columbine? And I'm like, okay. So I started to, explain to him that. And anyway, I didn't really have all of the details. So we come home and we start to do our own things. He starts playing video games, and I went in line and I fell into a Wikipedia hole. You ever do that where you click on one thing? I just clicked on Columbine because I wanted to become more familiar with because I was tested in the car ride, and I was like, wow, I really don't remember all the details there. I remembered the name Dylan Klebold and Eric Harris. I remembered Trenchcoat Mafia. But then because I was talking to this kid who was really interested in it, I was like, you know what, man? I don't want to fill your head with any wrong information. I'm not entirely sure about that. So when we got home, I started looking at Columbine stuff. And then that led to list of school shootings in America. So then I click on that on Wikipedia, and then I'm reading all of these. Then that led to list of mass shootings in America. And I read all that, and I'm going through all of that. By the way, never mind. That's an aside. I was going to say there was a big one in Plano that I had completely forgotten about. I remember when it happened. I was in Chicago. It happened, I don't know, a couple of years ago. During a Cowboy game. Do you remember this? Like some husband and wife, they were going through a divorce, and the wife invited a bunch of work friends over to watch a Cowboy game on Sunday Night Football. And the estranged husband, showed up and like killed everybody. I had totally forgotten about that. Neither here nor there. But anyway, one of the stories that I found most interesting, one of the tragedies that I ended up clicking on in the list of shootings, was one of the earliest ones. And that occurred today. Do you remember the 1993 Long Island Railroad shooting? I had totally forgotten about this one. But the reason I bring it up, because I think, no, first of all, nobody remembers it. If people remember anything about the Long Island Railroad shooting in 1993, it was that Colin Ferguson, the guy who did it, defended himself. That seems to be the thing that most people recall. Oh yeah, isn't that the crazy guy who fired in the middle of his trial? He fired all of his attorneys, and then he just decided that he was going to defend himself. Yeah, that's him. Yeah, Colin Ferguson. He was nuts. A Jamaican who believed that America was racist, and he just killed a whole bunch of people. It's that he killed nothing but white people. Well, that's true. He did, but there's also killed 6 people, 6 white people, and he wounded, I want to say, 19 others. Got on a train at Brooklyn Flatbush Station and started walking through the cars. Found a car that he liked, and then got into his duffel bag, pulled out a gun, and just started shooting people. Yeah, I mean, look, those were his motives. His motives were that he felt that America was a racist country and, he wanted to kill white people. At any rate, the story that is not told or remembered about this, that I was blown away by reading it. It happened on this day in 1993. Man, people rose up. The whole reason that this guy was stopped was because super brave, heroic people on their way home from work went, all right, if I'm going to take a bullet, I'm going to take a bullet. And they attacked this guy. They attacked him while he was reloading. Somebody yelled, I'll read it to you. Colin Ferguson had emptied two 15-round magazines during the shooting. While he was reloading his third magazine, somebody yelled, grab him! Passengers Michael O'Connor, Kevin Bloom, and Mark McEntee tackled him and pinned him to one of the train seats. Several other passengers ran forward to grab his arms and legs and helped to pin him across a 3-seat row with his head towards the window and legs towards the aisle. While he was pinned, Ferguson said, "Oh God, what did I do? Oh God, what did I do? I deserve whatever I got." He also repeatedly pleaded with those holding him, "Don't shoot me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry." 5 to 6 people continued to hold him down and pinned him for some time while they awaited for police to arrive. Ferguson was held down for several minutes. Andrew Roderick, an off-duty Long Island Railroad police officer who was picking up his wife from the train, then boarded the train and handcuffed him. That's just a little brief snippet from what happened. But guys charged this dude without any regard for taking a bullet themselves. This is like the Let's Roll guys on September 11th. The airplane that people rose up. I mean, of all of the super tragic things that I learned about on Friday as I fell into this really dark Wikipedia hole, that's one of the things that I remembered. That's one of the things that I pulled out that man, those people were heroes, and absolutely nobody today remembers the name Kevin Blum, Mark Enty, and Michael O'Connor. Those are the heroes that stopped the Long Island Railroad tragedy from becoming a much worse situation. Tragic for 6 families. Horrible experience for 19 others who were wounded. But remember, the names Michael O'Connor, Kevin Bloom, and Mark McEntee. Without regard for their own safety, these heroes rose up when this madman was just randomly shooting people on the train. I don't think they ever get any credit. So on this day, if we're going to talk about the anniversary of the Long Island Railroad shooting, we should talk about and remember that there are some good humans out there, and sometimes people do rise up. All right, what else happened on today? Why is today the rootinest, tootinest day of all time? We got some birthdays. How about some birthdays? Tom Waits was born on this day in 1949. Man, I don't get that, dude. I don't get that, dude. Tom Waits is an actor and a singer. I guess he's a singer first, but then he became an actor and he's done some really interesting roles. So as an actor, I guess he's fine. But as a performer, I think this is a bit. I think it's a bit. I think that people who like I love Tom Hanks, who like Tom Waits are either fooling themselves or trying to fool the rest of us. Tom Waits is a Joe came down and he said, "Give me a drink." It's the craziest. I'm telling you, if you've ever heard Tom Waits music, you're like, what? What the hell is this? It's his birthday. God bless him. He's made his money. Also born on this day in 1956, Larry Bird. Greatest white basketball player of all time? That's what they say. I don't know why we need to make a distinction, but they do. Larry Bird, born on this day. Also born on this day, 1973, one of the greatest distractions and clubhouse cancers in NFL history. Terrell Owens was born on this day. T.O. kicked off of so many teams. Philadelphia Eagles. Boy, do you guys remember Terrell Owens and Donovan McNabb? Oh, they hated each other. Oh my God. That was, you ever want to have a little fun, just Google search Terrell Owens, Donovan McNabb beef. Just read about that. That's some crazy shit, man. I'm telling you. Terrell Owens, born on this day in 1973. Also, we don't usually do this, but I was struck by the Quinkydink here. We don't usually do deaths because why? Well, people, unless it's like a really big one, died on this day. On this day 1 year ago, we lost 2 people who, for me, on the same day, man, what a bummer day. I don't even remember this happening. It must have been such a bummer day for me that I just blocked it out. 2 of my personal heroes, two of the people that I think are some of the coolest people that have ever walked the earth. You can have your fans. These are 2 really cool people. In 2020, we lost Dick Allen, 1972 American League MVP, Chicago White Sox legend. I almost wore my Dick Allen shirt today. Dick out smoking in the dugout, cranking monster home runs. Dick Allen, by the way, on Sunday night, again, 1 vote short of making the Hall of Fame. That is a crime. Minnie Minoso got in. That's good. But Dick Allen, 1 vote short. He died on this day in 2020, 1 year ago. Dick Allen was always, growing up, if you were a White Sox fan, he's like the coolest White Sox player of all time. Older people will tell you about the legend of Dick Allen, 1972 American League MVP, RBI leader, really good hitter, good player. Also on this day, though, Brigadier General Chuck Yeager died. Chuck Yeager, I'm a space and right stuff freak. Chuck Yeager never got to go to space. Should have gone to space. Didn't get to go to space. Test pilot, hero, Chuck Yeager. Yeah, did those Die Hard commercials. Or were they Duracell? I don't know. But he did those commercials. But for me, as a young boy growing up, Chuck Yeager was, again, like Dick Allen, was just like the epitome of a cool, badass dude. I'm Brigadier General Chuck Yeager for Allstate Battery. Is that what it was? Allstate? Allstate. That's insurance. Quaker State. I don't know, whatever it was. But yeah, if you've ever seen the Right Stuff, the film The Right Stuff, which is fantastic. Who played him? I'm trying to think. Scott? No, it wasn't Scott Glenn. Was it? I don't know. I can't think of who. This would be room for my boy Ed, if Ed was listening. I can't remember who played Chuck Yeager in The Right Stuff, but you remember? Really? You got to stick it at Beamans? He was the guy that he got denied for the astronaut program, so he took the experimental aircraft so high up into the air that the movie depicted that he actually touched space, and because there was no oxygen, the plane died and then fell, and very dramatic scene in The Right Stuff. On this day 1 year ago, Chuck Yeager and Dick Allen both died. It explains why I don't remember that being a thing on the same day, because it would have been absolutely devastating to me, and I probably blacked it out. All right, let's get into what we do here, which is we talk about all the things that are trending, everything that people are getting into. We like to have, a little bit of a meeting here. We all get together and we discuss what's happening in the world around us. Well, the big thing that's trending is, there's a number of things that are trending, right? Pearl Harbor is trending. Kind of already talked about that. A day that will live in infamy. I mean, I don't really know what else to say. What are we going to say about Pearl Harbor? It's already been covered. You know what Pearl Harbor is, and you should know that today is a day that will live in infamy. But also, Biden is trending. Putin is trending. NATO, Ukraine. I mean, all Biden call. All of these things are trending all together, and they're all under the same topic. So I guess that's something that we should discuss a little bit here. So this morning, starting at about, I want to say 9 o'clock our time, and I don't know, is it over yet? I haven't seen. It was going on for a while. President Joe Biden, the United States of America, and Vladimir Putin from Russia. They had themselves a little phone call. They had a little phone date, a little video conference phone date. Biden was at the White House, and Putin was at his home in Sochi. I'm sorry, I'm distracted. I'm looking at the TV. I'm trying to see if it's over yet. You guys in the chat room, I've been on the air for about a half hour or so now, so I'm not sure. Is it over? AC Delco. Thank you, Jeff Glenn. Jeff Glenn, I was trying to think of what it was that Chuck Yeager sold. I thought it was batteries or something like that. But he's right. I'm Brigadier General Chuck Yeager for AC Delco Spark Plugs. That's what it was. AC Delco, Brigadier General Chuck Yeager, died on this day 1 year ago. All right, so big phone call between the leader of the West and the leader of Russia, Biden and Putin. And, oh my God. I have to tell you, if you do, okay, so it's very complicated. I don't exactly know how to explain this to you. Okay, so I can do it this way. So back about, wait, why did the mic, hold on, why did the camera go off? I got a janky card on the camera. Hold on. There we go. Is it back? All right. There we go. All right, I got you. Sorry, folks. Yeah, that was my bad. I moved the desk a little bit, and it looks like the cord disconnected just a bit. Okay, so the Russians are mobilizing anywhere between 100,000 and 300,000 troops along the border with the Ukraine. Okay, this is a problem there because was it 2014? I think that's what I heard this morning. Back in 2014, the Russians did the same thing, and they ended up just swooping down into the Crimea and taking the Crimea back. There is this fear that one of Vladimir Putin's great plans is to somehow recoup all the land and all the nations that were lost when the Soviet Union broke up. So all the former Soviet states have always been feared to be, in the eyes of Putin. Putin wants them back. Ukraine, of course, is one of them. Ukraine is a very big one. Now, he amassed troops in 2014 on the border with Crimea and not doing anything. And not, what about you people? These are military exercises. You people, you're all such pearl clutchers. And then, of course, he just swooped down into Crimea and said, hey, look at this. It's mine now. What? You want to go? Oh, what? You're going to go to war over this tiny little country? And, of course, the entire West went, they didn't do anything because whatever. But the reason that he wanted Crimea was because of Sevastopol, which is the big giant port down there on the Black Sea. This is a strategic military base that the Russians were there anyway. They had the military base there. They just didn't own the rest of the country around it. So they decided if we're going to be, we need to control this strategic area 100% because we've got this base here and we're not going to give it up. Now, why did they suddenly become concerned about losing this strategic positioning, this port on the Black Sea, when they'd been there for a very long time and there had been no worries? Well, it's because there were a whole bunch of former Soviet republics that were joining NATO. And the fear was that if the Crimea or, Ukraine for that matter, if they had joined NATO, had joined the West, Russia would then have to give up their military base there. So in order to stop that from happening, they just said, we're going to take over the entire country. And then the country is not going to be able to join NATO because we will not allow it. Now, NATO is our America, I guess. We got a whole bunch of people together in Europe, and now more than Europe. I mean, people used to think it was just, NATO is Germany and England and France and Italy and Poland and whatever. No, it's like we got NATO's got like African countries in it. It's got Middle Eastern countries in it. I mean, NATO 30 nations are now in NATO. So NATO was built to essentially ensure that what Hitler tried to do in World War II, which is take over the whole of Europe, could never happen again, because there would be agreements in place among most of the European nations that if anyone ever tried to do that again, we're all going to bond together as one massive army led by the United States military, and we're just going to stop that. We're going to nip that in the bud. So that's what NATO is. Russia's not a member. Russia during the Cold War is when NATO was truly tested because, Russia was rolling around, scooping up, former Russian imperial nations and making them part of the Soviet Union. Places like Czechoslovakia and East Germany and Slovenia and Ukraine, places like this. But when the Soviet Union fell in 1992, a lot of those countries went, we're independent now. And they went and did their own thing. And a number of them joined NATO over the years. NATO has Bulgaria, Romania, Slovakia, Slovenia. These are all former Soviet Union states. And so Putin's big fear was that Ukraine was going to join NATO. And now, why is that a bad thing? Because Putin doesn't want a NATO nation on his border. Right now, Ukraine is acting as sort of a buffer. All of the countries that border the here, I actually pulled this up so that I could look at these countries. Okay, so you've got the Ukraine, right? And the Ukraine borders Russia. Now, on the other side of the Ukraine, you've got Romania, which is a NATO nation. You've got Poland, a NATO nation. Lithuania, which is a NATO nation. So the only thing between the Western NATO, which is sort of there now to keep Putin in check or to keep anyone from trying to grab land in that part of the world, the only thing that is a buffer is Ukraine. So Putin and Crimea had a strategic advantage, being a massive access to the Black Sea, which would then give you access to all, these other places over there. So Russia absolutely needed to keep Crimea. And at the time they said, we don't have any interest in taking over the Ukraine. The Ukraine isn't joining NATO. And they said that rather confidently because at the time they had, what was his name? Viktor Yushchenko or something like that. He was the president of Ukraine, and he was a puppet. He was a Russian puppet. And apparently NATO invited Ukraine to have talks about joining, and the then Russian puppet president of the Ukraine said, "Niet, not going to do it. Ukraine will never join NATO." And the people in the Ukraine went nuts. People in the Ukraine wanted to join NATO. So you had all of these protests, and it was crazy. I don't know if you can remember back then, but Viktor Yushchenko was kicked out of office. They held new elections, and they actually elected a new guy who was kind of like, hey, I'm not opposed to joining NATO. And this really freaked out Putin. So remember, Putin needs the Ukraine to remain neutral, to remain not a member of NATO, not even neutral. I'm sorry, that's I'm misspeaking. He needs Ukraine to remain on his side, right? But it will also act as a buffer. So this entire thing, this buildup of troops now on the border of Ukraine that Putin is doing is because, again, he's afraid that NATO is going to make an offering to the Ukraine, and the current political system in the Ukraine is going to say yes, right? The people want it. Ukraine wants it. Now, NATO is saying, we have no intention, wink, wink, of inviting the Ukraine in. Putin, you're overreacting. You're a pearl-clutching little bitch. And Putin's going, nah, I don't believe you. This is not good. So he sent, like I said, anywhere between 100,000 and let me see what the numbers are. The numbers keep changing. 100,000, 200,000 military troops right there on the border of the Ukraine. Now, after, I'm sorry, I got the notes here. It's Viktor Yanukovych. It doesn't matter. Didn't I say Yevchenko? It doesn't matter. These names, whatever. Viktor Yanukovych was the puppet president of the Ukraine who was deposed. He leaned towards Russia. And in 2014, he rejected the invite to join NATO. And this caused the public protests. This is when Russia invaded Crimea out of fear that Crimea wasn't going to say no to NATO. And he wanted to hold that because he wanted the naval ports at Sevastopol. NATO expansion up until that point. Okay, so here are all of the places that the Soviet Union used to run that suddenly in the last 15, 20 years have joined NATO. These are former Soviet nations: Poland, Hungary, Czech Republic, Bulgaria, Romania, Slovakia, Slovenia, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. Also, they now have in NATO Albania, Croatia, Montenegro, and North Macedonia. Now they've all joined NATO. Those are all now NATO nations. Those are all people who, if Putin gets out of line, are pledged to go to war against Putin if he tries to grab any more land. He's saying stop. He's saying no more. I'm not going to allow this to happen. I'm not going to allow Ukraine to fall to the NATO, to become a NATO nation. And that's what this is all about. So Biden, here's our interest, okay? I mean, you got to look at it from both interests. Our interests are, be pretty great if we controlled the Ukraine. That'd be awesome. Then we could put missiles right on the border there. Then we could bring tanks and we could do exercises within miles of the Russian border. So that's the standoff that's happening right now. And that's the thing that's going on with between Putin and Biden. Putin is saying "Yet," and Biden is saying, "You're overreacting, man. We have no designs to make Ukraine a NATO member. This is not something that's going to happen." I mean, I'm not defending Putin. Putin's a mass murdering scumbag, corrupt bastard. But I mean, he has seen the way, once again, Poland, Hungary, Czech Republic, Bulgaria, Romania, Slovakia, Slovenia, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Albania, Croatia, Montenegro. They've all joined NATO. So the last straw for him is the Ukraine. He cannot, the dude will not abide by any of this going on. So that's what they're talking about today. Another thing that needs to be mentioned is that Russia has drawn a red line that needs to be met. And this is the conversation that they're going to have. There is a red line drawn by Vladimir Putin, which says that basically Ukraine cannot join NATO. And if NATO invites the Ukraine in and the Ukraine says, okay, well, then we're going to have problems. So, but also here, I'll read this to you. A key principle of the NATO alliance is that membership is open to any qualifying country and no outsider has membership veto power. So that's Putin. Putin's the outsider and he's claiming veto power. He's saying they can't join or else. So that's where we are. They've been talking all morning. No idea how this is going to end up. I don't know. They showed the first couple of seconds of it. It was very, very, it seemed they had bad stream. It's like they got bad internet. It was a little bit grainy. It wasn't like the high def set. I don't know what that's about. But that's what they're talking about. That's the big news. That's what everybody is talking about. Military experts say that the Soviet Union, that Putin's army could very well invade the Ukraine as early as January 1st, that they're basically all set up. No, my friend, this is a military expert. This is this is not, he's claiming that the military exercises, but we're going, no, dude, that's what you said last time with Crimea. And we just kind of let it go because, okay, Crimea is small. Ukraine is the big fish. Ukraine is the massive nation. Oh, also, there was that war, there was a small war, well, not small to the people who live there. But what happened was during the Crimea thing, when he said, we're not going to go any further, Russia started sending troops, advisors to support Russian loyalist Ukrainian rebels, people who were basically funded and propped up by Putin and his government to fight the West-leaning new Ukraine government. So a whole war broke out, and we, NATO, we supported the fight for freedom that the Ukraine was engaging in, and Russia was basically instigating the whole thing for the rebels. He was funding them. He was giving them weapons, and that has essentially died down. That is that there's still small skirmishes and all of that. But now here we are, all these years later. That was 2014. All these years later, and Russia is once again amassing large troops on the border of the Ukraine, signaling to the world that, man, they could cross that border at any moment and try and retake the Ukraine just as they took the Crimea. And Biden's saying no, and he's saying yeah. Basically, what it is have you ever been in the backseat as a kid on a long car ride with another kid, and they do that thing where they take their finger and they put it like right next to you, and then maybe you go, "Mom, he's poking me." I'm not poking you. I'm not poking you. I'm not poking. My finger's just right here, but I'm not poking you. That is essentially the long and the short of what's happening right now between Russia and NATO. So that's what they're talking about. And that's why that's a big, and I don't even know. I don't know. Soon, White House to release details of Biden and Putin high stakes call. This really is high stakes. If Putin truly is a madman, I mean, I do not see how Putin wins this, because if he crosses the line and he goes into the Ukraine and decides that he's going to take back Ukraine, he's going to have to go all in. He's going to have to use every bit of military power that he's got. And like I said, all the other nations surrounding that area are pledged to NATO. So it would be Putin against everybody. And I don't know if we want that. Do nukes get involved? I have no idea. Anyway, it's a very tense situation, and that's why I spent this amount of time trying to explain it. It's, again, the easiest way to explain it is that two kids in the backseat of a car on a long car ride. Mommy's poking me. No, I'm not. I'm not poking you. I'm not poking you. I'm right next to you, but I'm not poking you. I haven't poked you yet. It's that whole thing. That's what he's doing. All right, what else is happening today? Trending, Jussie Smollett is trending. His trial is entering the second week. And oh my goodness, folks, are you following this? Okay. Oh, and guess what? He's trending. Jussie is trending with Don Lemon, Sugar Don Lemon. I think Sugar Don Lemon might be in a little bit of trouble here, which is fine by me, because as someone who abandoned CNN about a year and a half ago, like I said, I used to consider CNN the least of three evils. You got MSNBC, which you can't trust a lick they say, because they are so pledged to the left and, the woke and, all of that stuff. You just can't take anything that they say seriously. And then, of course, Fox News, which is just the direct opposite of MSNBC. So pledged to the right. You can't believe anything that they say. I had always seen CNN as sort of someone trying to play the middle, somebody trying to give access to both sides, both points of view, both. And that just isn't the case anymore. And I think it came because over the past 4 years, the previous administration took so many shots at CNN, which, I don't know why they didn't go after MSNBC more. I don't know why CNN became, you would think that the MSNBC would be the obvious one for them to really go after. But it's like everybody ganged up on CNN, and then CNN had to make a hard left in order to defend themselves. And Don Lemon, in my opinion, is one of the absolute most grotesque violators of, he's Sean Hannity. He's a left version of Tucker Carlson. That's what he has become. He used to be a regular boring ass news guy. And then he made a hard left, and he started to get more popular, and he was embraced by, that whole thing. I just feel Don Lemon has zero credibility. And look, you want to see something? You just go on YouTube and Google Don Lemon drunk. Don Lemon shows up drunk every New Year's Eve on New Year's Eve's party. He does. He says some of the most ridiculous things. We can do a whole, when Don Lemon gets taken down, I'm going to have a bit of and I know the people, why do you hate Don Lemon? Because of everything that I just said. He seems completely disingenuous. He seems totally on one side. He doesn't seem fair at all. He's just, ugh. So why is Don Lemon might be in a little bit of trouble? Only days after CNN had to jettison Chris Cuomo. Don Lemon's in trouble because, as it turns out in the Jussie Smollett case today, Don Lemon was texting Jussie Smollett saying, the Chicago police don't believe you, and giving him, I don't know, tips, heads up. One of the big things against Jussie Smollett was that he refused to turn his phone over to the Chicago Police Department during their investigation. This looked bad. Chicago police theorized at the time that the reason he didn't want to do this is because it would show text messages between Jussie Smollett and the two men Chicago police believe are responsible for the staged attack. Two men, two brothers, two Nigerian brothers, one who worked on the set of Empire with Jussie Smollett. I don't even know how to pronounce their last name. It's a very, very difficult Nigerian name to say. Let me see here if we got it anywhere. Yeah, we'll just call them the Nigerian brothers. So anyway, police were afraid or believed that Jussie Smollett's phone, personal cell phone, would reveal some information. But as he testified today, that wasn't why he wouldn't give his phone to police. The reason Jussie Smollett said on the stand today he wouldn't give his phone to police is because Don Lemon was sending him information and texts, and so that ain't good. I mean, look, I think any reasonable person can say that this absolutely looks like a hoax. This Jussie Smollett dude, this guy, come on, can we stop it? I mean, I am really afraid, just as I have seen people on the right fearful that the Crumblies are going to somehow become a cause celeb for the right. That's how it is for some people on the left. They do not want the left to suddenly embrace Jussie Smollett because this is so egregiously a hoax. This is such a... First of all, everyone in Chicago, when this happened, heard about this. And the first thing we all said was, it was like 50 below wind chill factor that night. There was nobody on the streets. Why was he going out to walk a couple of blocks he says he went to Walgreens and Subway. Why nobody would walk blocks in downtown Chicago along the lakefront when it's 50 below zero wind chill factor? It was the coldest night of the year. So from the get-go, people in Chicago were like, that doesn't sound right. And then he encountered two MAGA racists who were just waiting around downtown for somebody to beat up in 50 below zero. What? That just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. It's not a thing. So from the very beginning, people in Chicago were like, this doesn't seem right. Now, in the 24 hours after this story was reported, there were a lot of people who rushed to judgment. This is just another example of how a proud gay black man is treated in modern America. And there was a lot of that. But then more information was revealed nationally, not in Chicago. In Chicago, we were always like, this doesn't smell right. Nationally, it started to be revealed that maybe there were some holes. Like, why did he come to the door with the noose around his neck? Why didn't he want to call police? Why? So it started to fall apart very early on. But this cannot be, hey, lefties out there, this cannot be your cause celeb. This is a bad beat you're about to take on this one because Jussie Smollett is a complete hoaxster. He's a Loki trickster. This guy is not, this ain't going to go well for him. Although apparently, he's looking at like some significant, not significant. What is it? I'm trying to 4 felony carries prison 3 years. He's looking at a possibility of 3 years in prison, and yet everybody is saying, "Oh, but he won't get that. He won't get any jail time." Why? Why won't he get jail time? I don't understand that argument. Oh, they won't give him jail time for this. I don't know, man. I think you underestimate how pissed off the people of Chicago are. This jury did not like the way he painted us. We already take a whole bunch of crazy, over-the-top bullshit garbage from the likes of Fox News. And we've been taking that for years for no other reason than it's the hometown of Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton. That's why Chicago has become a target, because look at their towns, look at where they're from. And so, it sort of became a thing to attack Chicago, even though the true statistics don't back up any of the claims that have been made. But neither here nor there. We're not going to talk about this. We will one day, though. Maybe we'll bring it up because I'm sure James Parker, my nighttime host, believes all that stuff. So I'll have to get all the actual national reporting data on where Chicago ranks as far as murders and crime and all that. Not even in the top 10. It's not. Yet you listen to Fox News and it sounds like Somalia in the early 90s. All right. So the other thing that was interesting, I think we all knew that Jussie Smollett was going to double down on the hoax claim. Yeah, this isn't a hoax. This is real. This is for legit. Even though the two people who committed the so-called crime, we'll call it an event, the situation, the purpose, the people who were involved in the situation have now turned. They're telling the police everything. They're saying the two Nigerian brothers, they're like, yeah, he paid us. He gave us $3,500. Here's the check. He paid us to, stage this attack because he was trying to get some publicity because he felt that he wasn't faring well in negotiations with the television show Empire. He wanted a new contract. He wanted more money. So he wanted to up his profile on the national scene and, hey, play the victim card, be the victim, be somebody who was, Empire was a very black show, very black friendly show. I loved it though. The first two seasons, you know what? I stopped watching it with the Jussie Smollett stuff. I became so disgusted because I was a fan of his. I liked his character. He was so talented. His character was so talented on that show. And I love Taraji Henson, who plays Cookie Lion, the mom. She was so great in that. And it was a fun show. And then this happened and I stopped watching it. Anyway, his character was, he felt was deserving of far more money. And the producers were like, no, you're not. And so the belief is that he staged first a letter containing white powder being sent to him on the set, which shut the set down, hazmat, all that kind of stuff had to happen. Turned out that was just crumbled up aspirin. It is now widely believed that he did that. And then a week later, the attack. I've been attacked by MAGA. I'm a high profile black man and this is my cause. You know, that whole thing. And it became really ugly. That was his plan. But the two people that staged the attack, the Nigerian brothers, are now telling police, no, he paid us. Come on, man. Well, first of all, he said that they were white MAGA people. Do we look like white MAGA people? You know, I mean, it's just nothing added up. Again, coldest day of the year. He's walking blocks. It just didn't make any sense. Wearing the noose when police finally came to his apartment there, it was crazy. So he's leaning into it. Jussie Smollett is now saying that the brothers are only claiming this now because they had a gay relationship. Here, I gotta read this. Jussie is saying that I had a relationship with one of the brothers. The other brother didn't know. I had a relationship with one of the brothers, and this whole thing is because he's embarrassed now that he has to be publicly outed as gay. Smollett, 39, is charged with 6 counts of felony disorderly conduct for making what prosecutors say was a false police report about the alleged attack. The former Empire star said under oath when asked about potentially planning the attack, there was no hoax. The Class 4 felony carries a prison sentence of up to 3 years. Of up to 3 years, but experts said he probably won't do any jail time. Some legal experts say the only chance Smollett has of beating the charges that he lied to the police is by telling jurors his version of what happened. Smollett testifies that he and Abimbola Osundario had been to gay bathhouses together, where they had done drugs and masturbated together in a private room. Smollett's attorneys have claimed that it was a real attack and that Osundario and his brother, Olabingo, made up the story about the hoax and then asked Smollett for $1 million each to not testify against him. Osundario admitted that he had gone to the bathhouse with Smollett when he was cross-examined last week on the stand by defense lawyers, but testified that there was no relationship. Okay, so this is a problem. You know what side of this I'm on. I believe that Jussie Smollett is a scumbag and he should be getting jail time because this is obviously a hoax. But when he gets on the stand and he says, "Oh no, see, they're lying now. They're telling that I paid them to attack me when in fact they really did just attack me. They're saying that I paid them to attack me. He claims that they were posing as MAGA people. Which, have you seen these guys? These are like two giant Nigerian guys. What? Jussie Smollett in the early goings said they were white guys. And now he's saying, oh, I was wrong about the color, but it was them. It was them. I was just wrong about the problems. But Jussie is saying that, no, they're saying that I paid them and that this is a hoax because they're afraid that I'm going to out them for being gay because one of them did gay stuff with me. We were a couple. We did stuff. We went to a bathhouse. First of all, I don't even know what a bathhouse is. I've heard stories. They sound like they should be illegal. Bathhouses? I mean, I don't know. In Chicago, I know there's one because when we were on the radio in Chicago, we used to do bathhouse tales, which was a bit where people would call in and talk about their experiences going to this one notorious bathhouse in Chicago. I don't know if there's any in Dallas. I don't know if these are a thing. They sound like legal sex houses. I guess they're legally permitted to operate because they're like fitness clubs, but dudes go in there and there are like, the way it was described to us, there's TV sets everywhere that play like, well, this was back in the 90s, so now it's probably digital, but they play like videotapes of like gay porn everywhere and guys are walking around naked and getting into pools. It's just such a weird, look, if you're intrigued, I'm sure you can look into it. But the very fact that one of the brothers actually admitted on the stand that I'm not gay or anything, but yeah, I went to the bathhouse with him. Ooh, that's troubling. That sort of lends some credibility because no straight guy is going, unless he had no idea what goes on in a bathhouse. Rob Barr, who lives in San Francisco, Sanitizer is a sex club in San Francisco. Yeah, but do you have bathhouses? I would think maybe San Francisco would. All right, it's time. It's 101. Let's bring in my partner here. I've done enough of the free streaming where I just ran. We're talking about Jussie Smollett. Have you heard the latest on the Jussie Smollett thing, what he's claiming?
Well, I heard some of it. I know the defense is rested, and so now they're going back to figure out whether he's guilty or not.
They feel satisfied, do they? They feel like they've done all they can.
They've mucked up the waters as bad as they can.
Do you know about the bathhouse stuff? That's what I was just talking about.
No, not exactly.
I do.
I heard some of the testimony earlier from one of the brothers where he said he wasn't gay and that Jussie Smollett said that him and the brother had gay relations or sexual relations.
And went to a bathhouse in Chicago where they did stuff together. And then the brother on the stand last week said, yeah, I went to the bathhouse with him. And I'm like, that's troubling because straight dudes don't go to bathhouses unless they don't know what straight dudes don't go to a bathhouse with a out gay man with, you know what I mean?
No. Yeah, I mean, I know where there's a bathhouse here. And
no, there's a bathhouse in Dallas. See, I thought this was just like something maybe like New York, San Francisco, and Chicago might have.
No, there's been one for years.
How are they legal?
In Deep Ellum.
We should go.
Should go.
Why not? What are you scared? What are you home? Yeah, I don't want to go. I don't want to go either.
Even if I went, I would be afraid that it'd get raided when I was there.
That is exactly. And then how do you explain?
Right.
You're doing a bit. You're not even on the radio anymore, but I stream. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, no, I know. It was right there behind.
Hold on.
The Lizard Lounge.
No way.
Yeah. Like 3 stories.
Hold on. All right. So what would gay bathhouse, Dallas? I guess. Let's see that.
Yeah. Or bathhouse.
House. Well, no, because I have been to real bathhouses, Russian baths. The Russian baths in Chicago are real bathhouses, and it's where 300-pound people go to do business, and they sit in a sauna and they do spritzes, and there's nothing gay about it. It's actually quite grotesque. It's you get the old-fashioned massage, and you've seen old movies depicted where
Yeah,
guys were sitting in the
yeah.
sauna smoking cigars. Capone made this one Russian bathhouse in Chicago famous, and I've been to that one. I've been to that one with radio people. There was one of my mentors. I'm worried about saying his name now because for some reason this is turning into a shady thing, but it's not a shady thing. It's a tradition among Jewish businessmen, especially Russian Jewish businessmen. They go to the Russian bathhouse and they cut deals. They wear towels. Nobody's going to walk around with their junk flopping out. That's
Well,
not
I'm saying that this place in Deep Ellum, I'm sure it's a gay bathhouse.
all right, gay bathhouse near me. Yes, let's just see near me. Let's see what all pops up.
It's been there for years.
Oh my God. Yelp has the 10 best gay bathhouses in Dallas. 10!
Really?
10 best. Oh wow, this is a thing. This is a real thing. I really assume that, first of all, I knew this kind of thing went on back in the free flow in 70s when everybody's in the closet and all that, but I thought AIDS shut all of these kinds of things down.
No, this thing has been going for, I don't know, 15, 20 years that I remember.
All right, so back on the Smollett thing.
Oh, you don't want to check it out? Like,
No,
don't they have pictures?
I am, but it's loading.
Oh.
So I just thought while we're loading.
Oh, okay.
So if the guy who says this was a hoax because they paid us went to the gay bathhouse with Smollett by his own admission, and Smollett is saying it's not a hoax. He was just mad that I was going to out him as gay because I went to the bathhouse. And then on the stand, that guy was asked, "Did you go to the bathhouse with him?" He's like, "Well, yeah, but I'm not gay." That's the only thing that I've heard in Jussie Smollett's favor. That is the only thing, because I cannot fathom. Like, I have gay friends, but if a gay friend of mine said, "Hey, you want to go hang out at this bathhouse?" I'd be like, "I don't think so, man. I don't think, not that I'm afraid of you, but I don't, that's not something. I don't want to go to a regular sex club." We had this obligation. There was like some swingers club here in Dallas early on. And I went to, it was maybe even Kelly went, I don't know, but it was with Ron Jeremy and some other famous adult film female star. And I was there for half hour and got the hell out of there. I mean, I did. And that was I was like, no. So I'm not homophobic for saying that I don't want to go to a gay bathhouse either. That's just not my thing.
Well, I think there is a segment of the straight male population that are bodybuilders or LeBaire dancers that will go to a known gay strip club or a gay bathhouse as a way to make money. Now, whether they engage in
gay prostitutes?
I don't know that they're necessarily gay prostitutes, but I know that there's a segment of the male gay population that will pay LeBaire dancers that are straight or bodybuilders that are straight to come in. They're getting their skivvies or get naked, so they can gaze at them because they think that they have, an Adonis-like body.
I think if you do that, I think you might just be claiming that you're straight. And at the very least, maybe you have some conflict going on inside of you that you haven't reconciled yet. Because I don't think that a truly straight guy would be at all comfortable with that. But people get desperate for money. So who knows? You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, there used to be right down the street here on, I think it was on Fitzhugh, a place called Zippers.
Let's see. I've got the best gay bathhouses in Dallas. Let's see if Zippers is still
no, it's closed now. It's turning into a restaurant, actually a nightclub. But it was a gay like LeBaire. But the one down in Deep Ellum, I don't remember the name of it. I don't actually think it has a name. I mean, it may. But it was right behind the Lizard Lounge, right next to a nightclub that I used to have a lot of parties at. 7 back in the day.
So when you search gay bathhouses near me, the Yelp returns, it says best gay bathhouses in Dallas, Texas. It returns these are not, to my knowledge, bathhouses. Like, number 1 is Bliss Arcade Theater. Number 2 is Lido Adult Theater. These are not what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I think Bliss is off of 183. I think Lido's. I think they're all. I've seen all those names off of like 183.
Yeah, I've some a stripper I spent a little time with took me to the Lido Adult Theater once. And again, very uncomfortable. Never talked to her again. That was a very not my scene. La Bear is number 3. That's not a bathhouse. That's a male strip club.
Yeah, I don't know why they're listed as gay bathhouses.
Look, here's what the first Yelp review says. They don't like men coming in without a woman. I mean, that pretty much tells you right there that they don't want gay guys coming there, that it's not gay friendly. Marty's Live, Dallas's black gay scene can be disappointing by most standards, but it's all about what you make of it. That's Marty's Live. Tape Lenders.
You're looking for the one in Deep Ellum.
Maybe this is it. Club Babylon, Dallas, Paris Adult Bookstore, Condom Sense. Condom Sense is listed under gay bathhouse. You know what these are? New Fine Arts. Gary doesn't run a gay bathhouse. New Fine Arts is just a bookstore, a dirty bookstore.
Or they have their video rooms.
Yes, and we do know that things go on back there because our old late great pal Bruce X used to have to patrol. He used to run. I don't even remember what his business was called, but he owned one of those adult publication emporiums, and he had the rooms in the back, which he said made him so much money, but he had to go back there every once in a while, and he would go back there with a baseball bat. Like, he would go back there dragging a baseball bat, and if he thought something weird was happening in one of the rooms, he would go bam, bam, bam on the door and then just walk away.
Like, I bet you those doors were just like beat to hell.
And they'd all think that the cops were there.
Everything's going wrong there.
All right, so I'm now interested. Let's see. Okay, so let's not do the 10 best gay Dallas bathhouses and sex clubs. Club Dallas, private men's club with saunas. Okay, that would be 2616 Swiss Avenue. That's the one. No,
I don't think it's. I think it's like Elm, or maybe it's not Commerce.
I don't know.
It was like the street or whatever. Let's see. What was the Lizard Lounge located on? I don't know.
Wasn't the Lizard Lounge on Swiss?
Maybe.
I
don't know.
so.
Let me see.
Okay, so there's a guest advisory for
Adam Rainin knows where it is.
Oh, do you now, Adam?
Well, it says, dude, I figured that was a gay spot there. I drop off and pick up only dudes there all the time. Yeah, it's Swiss. Okay, so he said it is Swiss.
Well, they're being responsible because right on their main page, it says guest advisory, COVID-19 is an extremely contagious disease. It can lead to severe illnesses. So they've got a little COVID.
It's a 3-story. It's a 3-story building, or like, it's a weird shape. Like, I've heard they've got weird rooms in there. I don't know.
Club Dallas is located at 2616 Swiss Avenue, just steps from the Swiss Avenue DART station. Club Dallas provides an immaculate facility. Enjoy sunning by our outdoor pool. Rejuvenate yourself in our cowboy whirlpool. Dissolve your tensions in either. It does dissolve your tensions in either our steam room or sauna. Personalize your workout. I guess it's like a workout gym too. In our fully equipped gym and cardiovascular room, or simply kick back and socialize in one of our lounges, or enjoy a video. Why do I need a video? Well, if I'm going to work out, what do I need a video for? What's going on? I mean,
dude, I just told you of the spot that I've known that's been for years. I don't know anything about what you were talking about other than Jesse Smollett, and the guy said he went to a gay bathhouse.
Yeah, in Chicago. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And all I'm saying is that if you're not at least curious, why would you go to a gay bathhouse with Jesse Smollett?
Yeah,
I mean, it's sort of support.
I mean, it seems like you would be putting yourself in a lion's den of gayness.
Yeah, and it's
if you went to a gay bathhouse with a guy that was gay.
It supports Jesse Smollett saying, I was attacked by them. This was not a hoax. And the reason they attacked me was because he was afraid that I was going to out him as gay in front of his brother. That's not a terrible defense. I mean, that does raise a bit of, I could see that. I could see if one of the brothers is gay and
The other scenario that I could see as possible, okay. Jesse also testified to the fact that the brother sold him drugs.
yeah,
So,
bodybuilding drugs, right?
well,
Illegal
no,
steroids.
drugs. He said drugs, cocaine.
Okay.
Okay, so he said that the brother sold him cocaine. I could see Jesse wanting cocaine at the bathhouse and the brother showing up at the bathhouse
To deliver him cocaine.
to deliver him drugs.
Okay.
That I could see.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that as well. Uh-huh.
And so, you know, I there's so much going around with this guy, meaning like he's selling him drugs, he's training with him. Jesse's trying to say he's having sexual relations with him. Jesse is obviously scrambling for somebody on that jury to hang so he
Right.
doesn't get convicted here.
Right.
And, I mean, a normal gay man is not going to go to a bathhouse with another guy without there being some purpose in it. And the only purpose in it that I could figure out why I would go or why anybody else would go would be for money. And so
Yeah.
if you're a drug dealer and your customer is at a gay bathhouse and he needs to get some drugs delivered to the gay bathhouse, you're probably going to go into the gay bathhouse,
Yeah.
give him his drugs and get out.
I can also see a young on the move hustler type, as these brothers appear to have been, finding themselves in a acquaintanceship or with access to a Hollywood TV star, and I could see them doing whatever it takes to stay in that circle simply because of the opportunities that would be available to them in that orbit. If they were in fact trainers, if you were a trainer and you could say you train people from Empire, you could probably charge a little bit more to the housewife. You know what I mean? I mean, that is,
yeah, and
I have seen people compromise themselves to be in the orbit of DJs. So I can only imagine what somebody like Jussie Smollett wanting to stay friendly with them. So possibly doing something like delivering drugs to a bathhouse. You know what I mean? Like, just because I don't want to piss them off, whatever, I'll do it. So your scenario there does kind of make a little bit of sense to me.
Well, I mean, if I'm him and I'm asked, were you at a bathhouse? And I'm selling him drugs at the bathhouse, and I know that they probably have got cameras at that bathhouse, I'm going to say,
No.
yeah, I was at the bathhouse.
No cameras.
Oh, they got cameras at the front door, dude.
At the front door. Okay.
Yeah.
Not in the private rooms.
No, not in the private rooms, but
Right.
I'm just saying, if I'm there and I'm on trial and we're going to ring people up for lying, if Jesse brings that up, I'm going to have to say, yeah, I was at the bathhouse, but I'm not gay. I'm not going to say, yeah, I was at the bathhouse. I was selling them Coke.
What do you make of the Don Lemon thing? That's the other story that broke today in the trial. Are you familiar with that?
Well, Don Lemon at the bar when he offered the guy the
No. Jussie Smollett said on the stand today that the reason he didn't give his phone up to the police when the police wanted it for their investigation wasn't because he was afraid of the text that it would show between him and the Osundario brothers, but because it would show text from Don Lemon telling him information that he received. Don Lemon from the Chicago Police Department. Don Lemon's in a little bit of trouble here, if this is true. If Don Lemon was sharing information with Jussie Smollett about the police investigation, I mean,
how would he be in trouble?
Because
I mean, first of all, what are the police
highly
doing?
unethical. It's highly unethical. It's exactly the same reason that Chris Cuomo just got fired. It's
Well, Don Lemon may be in trouble with CNN.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Don Lemon is not in legal trouble.
No. But what we're talking about is the teardown of CNN that seems to be in full effect right now. They just got rid of Chris Cuomo, and now it looks like Don Lemon is going to face a whole lot of stuff here in the next 12 to 24 hours. There's going to be a lot of time. That just the revelation that Don Lemon was sending him text messages, advising him on information that Don Lemon had acquired from the Chicago Police Department is highly unethical for somebody who's supposed to be a journalist covering this impartially. Yeah, that's not good. So we'll see where that goes. But here, let me show you this. Look at this. Can we just say for a second, can I just comment on this incredible Wakandan wedding suit that the brother is wearing? Look at that. I mean, look at this outfit, man. Can you see that?
Yeah. So where's he wearing that into the court?
Yeah, as I'm arriving in court. That is a sharp ass outfit. I, as a fat white guy, couldn't pull that off. But man, oh man, that is some. Look at that jacket. That's like that's a Nehru jacket. And then look at those pants. Oh man, this guy over here. I don't know which one this one is. I'm guessing this is the one that might be gay. Because this is a really tight outfit, man. That looks great. This is brothers. This one here, this guy just looks, not so great. This, look at that jacket.
Who's the middle person?
I'm guessing an attorney, maybe. Yeah, something like that. But I mean, I could see that's a good look, boy. I'll tell you. I don't know if he's gay or not, but that is a hell of a look. All right, and there's Jussie showing up to court. I guess these are the brothers. Smollett showed a family photo growing up and spoke about his family. Which one's Jussie? I wonder if we could find Jussie in here. I'm going to guess this is Jussie. And this is his super, super attractive sister, who's also an actress.
You're going to think that's Jussie? I think he's down there in the corner.
You think that's Jussie?
Yeah.
I'm only saying this because him and his sister Journey are the two oldest. So I'm guessing that this is Journey Smollett, the actress, and this is Jussie. But yeah, I mean he's got whatever. All right, Smollett showed a photo of his family growing up, spoke with his family foreground, directed. He said he didn't get along with his father. Okay. Let's see. Any other pictures that we can look at? Mm-hmm. Oh, there you go. Jussie. Uh-oh. Jussie and his good pal, Don Lemon, who might be in a little bit of trouble. In testimony that was presented and then stricken from the record, Smollett said that he started to understand his story wasn't believed when CNN anchor Don Lemon, pictured right, texted him to say that Chicago police didn't believe him. Smollett also had regrets about the press coverage that he participated in after the attack. All right, I'm just looking for pictures. Okay. So look at these two. These are the brothers. I mean,
yeah, they're physically fit.
Yeah, they're trainers. They're personal trainers. How though during the attack? Because now it's both sides are saying that yes, these are the guys that engaged in whatever it was that happened on the street there. The brothers are saying that they did it because they were paid to do it. And Jussie is saying they did it because one of them was afraid I was going to out him as being gay. But that doesn't change the fact that in the immediate aftermath of it, Jussie Smollett said that they were white guys wearing MAGA hats. How did Jussie think that these two guys were white guys wearing MAGA hats? I mean, right there from the get-go, we see that he's being incredibly duplicitous about this.
Yes.
So that ain't good. See what else we got here. Ooh. All right, he's going in with all of his. Who's this? Lori Lightfoot? What do we got? The mayor of Chicago? It looks like Lori Light. It's not, but it looks like it could be. All right. So that's what's happening today in the Jussie Smollett case. Lot of bombshells. And I'm telling you, I do not understand why the hell. I think it's because Illinois doesn't allow cameras in the courtroom. Can we get Illinois to change that? Because think about the Rittenhouse one. If the Rittenhouse one was doing great, imagine the ratings that Jussie Smollett's trial would be pulling down right now. I mean, I'd be watching it. I'd have it on. We'd be checking it out. I'd be more interested in that than the Putin-Biden call. I mean, you know what I mean? Wouldn't that be great television? How can that not be shown? Well, because there's a law in Illinois, I'm guessing. All right. And we've established that bathhouses are still a thing, which I am very, very surprised to learn. I had no idea.
Yeah, bathhouse has been going, God, as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
So they must obviously not rate it or consider it to be something where illegal sex is going on.
Okay, so let's walk through this now. I mean, I don't want to spend, we spent way too much time on this subject, but is it illegal, or is it morally troubling to certain people? Like, if you want to go into a private club and have sex in a private club, is that illegal? What's wrong with that? I don't think that should be illegal, honestly. I think that two consenting adults doing something in a private club, we're not talking about the bathroom at Applebee's. We're talking about a private club that membership is required. You have to. Now, I was reading.
I would imagine there's a law on the books somewhere that says you shouldn't be engaging in sex in a public space.
But this is not a public space. It's a private space. This is a private club. You pay a membership to join.
I mean, you can have sex in a hotel.
Oh,
yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe I guess you can, as long as you're not charging.
Okay, let's be done with that. Okay. I mean, look, I'm not homophobic in the least. I'm just saying, if you listen to the show with any regularity, you know that the sex in general is not really my thing lately. So it's not really either way. I don't want to. But it doesn't seem like it should be illegal for gay people to have a place. It's a private club that you can go into. And like I said, I was reading up on this. Apparently, the private club isn't like something where you pay monthly like you would. But when you go for the first time, you pay a membership fee. Like, remember how that used to be in North Dallas? If you wanted to drink, you couldn't drink in North.
Oh yeah,
Dallas.
you had to pay a membership.
It was a workaround. It was like you joined the club for the night, right. Something like
the golden parachute used to have that back on Beltline.
When I first came here in Dallas, if I wanted to go into a bar, they're like, you got to join the club. And I'm like, oh, what's the membership? They're like, it's free. I'm like, what? He's like, you just got to join the club. And I'm like, okay. And then you got to fill out a little paperwork. And then, oh, you're approved. Welcome to the club. Would you like a drink? Oh, I can drink here now? It's a bar. It seemed like silly.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah, there are clubs here too. There's like the San Sushi,
that's a sex club, right? Isn't that
which is the same? Yeah, I was just trying to say, like, so that's a club where people go, known swingers kind of club, and they have sex there, going on. So yeah, I would imagine, I guess the cops don't care if you're at a club and you're having sex in the club and it's a private club. It's just if you're charging, I think that's where prostitution, whether it's in a private club or a regular club.
Look, soccer mom Karen finds you having sex at Fuddruckers in the bathroom. Yeah, that's a problem, right? That I understand. That's a problem. I don't want to bring my kids in there. But I ain't bringing my kids into a bathhouse where I got to pay a membership to get, you know what I mean? That's not. So maybe I don't know what the legality is here, and I don't really care to find out because
I mean, the what I would say the straightest, no illegal activity going on that I've seen is the King Spa.
What's that?
And that's over like Harry Hines Royal, which it's in a neighborhood.
It's a spa, so that's a Jack Shack, right? That's
no. This is one that's like a full. It's an Asian spa. Look this way, you'll die when you see this one, because when you see it, you're like, oh, there's no way it's not a Jack Shack. But lots and lots of people, like I know, go to the King Spa that are straight.
What do they get?
It's a spa.
It's a spa.
Like and there is no happy ending. There is no happy. I mean, as far as I can tell, there's no happy ending going on.
Okay. Those things still exist?
What?
Do those things still exist? The sex spas, the
I mean, I'm
massage
sure they're
spas?
around. They've just moved.
Yeah.
But like, look up. I'm telling you right now. Look up the King Spa, and
King
you're gonna
Spa.
go, "Wow, this
All right.
place looks. It looks like a high end Vegas hotel
Where did you say it
spa."
was? Richardson?
No, it's in Dallas. It's like,
Dallas,
yeah.
Frisco. There's one in Frisco. There's one in Denton. There's one in Carrollton. Okay, so this is going to be 2154 Royal Lane,
There
Dallas.
you go.
All right, let's look at this place. Wow. Yeah.
Right?
Fancy dancy. Welcome to Vegas.
I know. I was saying, and so when you look at that one, you're like, okay, I guess it's legit. There is nothing going on there.
Yeah, well, might as well show people that. Okay. Because yeah, that does not look like your run-of-the-mill Jack Shack that is located in a industrial park next to a metal fabricator.
No, but it is right there off of Harry Hines and Royal Lane, which is the neighborhood, but it's just outside of the neighborhood.
Hold on, let's see if we can find this. Sorry, it's gonna take a second, but yeah, this place looks pretty good. And I mean, it looks legit, I guess, is the word that I'm trying
and
to
you
say.
get used to
As
the
opposed to-
facilities. I think for like it used to be like 35 or 40 bucks.
Okay. There we go. Whoa! Holy cow! Okay, yeah, let's check this out. This place looks. Have you ever been inside this place? Have you seen the inside or just the outside?
Just the outside.
Good Lord, people! Are you
Right?
seeing this? Oh, that's the inside.
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean it's like legit.
That looks very legit. Okay, so now how do I get back to the? That's okay. So let's
So
see.
that's what I'm imagining your Chicago Russian bathhouses to look like.
No. The Chicago Russian bathhouses are very old timey looking. Look at that. Look at that. That's the King Spa. That's a telemarketer calling. Look at that.
They even have a kids area, I think.
Wow. Okay, so oh my God, look at that. You can relax. Yeah, this is not. Yeah, this is a legit place. This is not a Jack Shack. This is. Although I'm sure that from time to time, that's the outdoor that you're talking about.
Yep, it's changed now, but yeah, it's a lot more elaborate.
Yeah. All right, hold on. Let me show you. I'll show you what the Russian bathhouse in Chicago looks like. It's the one I want to.
So they have a number of those now in town.
King Spas, yeah. There's one in Frisco. There's one that says Carrollton. There's one that says in Dallas or Denton. All right, here. Still sharing? Nope, we're not sharing. Okay, yeah. This is the one. This is the one that I went to in Chicago. All right, see that?
Mm-hmm.
That's I mean, it's old timey. It's
from the outside, you know. I mean, you're going to see that on most buildings up north.
It's been in business since like the Capone era. It's where Capone would hold his meetings. It's really hot, and they have masseuses, but the masseuses are always like Russian women who look like 1980s Olympic powerlifters. I mean, that's what it looks like on the inside. It's yeah. So it's very Red Square. That's what it was called. Yeah, Red Square. And that's a very legit place. It's not. There's nothing funny going on. People do business there. Huge deals are corrupt politician backroom deals occur in the sauna there. The famous scene from the Blues Brothers. If you ever saw the Blues Brothers, where they were trying to meet with their booker, Steve Lawrence, and he was in the bathhouse in the sauna, and then the camera pans, and it's the Blues Brothers sitting in the sauna wearing their suits. They're fully suited up, and sweating and all of that. So
All right.
it's a legit place. All right, let's go on. Let's see what else we got trending here today. Virus is trending. New York City is trending in conjunction with that. De Blasio is trending with that. Are you following what's happening in New York City?
No.
Mandates. City of New
Oh,
York.
vaccine. Yeah, I mean, but they've been having the vaccine mandates for a while.
No, this was just passed yesterday, and it's just starting now. De Blasio, who is leaving office in a couple of weeks, has mandated that private businesses, all private businesses, must now have all of their
Oh, okay.
all of
Yeah,
their
because I was
people
going
have
to
to
say
be
they had
vaccinated.
vaccine mandates in New York
Right.
for a bit, but those are public or state run.
Right. Anything that does
Right.
business with the state and the federal government and all that stuff, they were mandated. But now, if you just run like, a record and tape shop, in Brooklyn, now you've got to have mandates. It says here, starting December 27th, New York City's vaccine mandate will expand to include all private sector workers. This is a move Mayor Bill de Blasio called the first of its kind in the nation as he announced the looming changes. All private sector workers in New York City will be subject to mayor's vaccine mandate starting December 22nd. Now, why are they doing this? Why are they taking such drastic steps there in New York City? Maybe we're just immune to it. Maybe we're just tired of it. I know that there is a large section of the American public who have moved on from living their lives in fear of the COVID. But dude, it's back. It is back. It is up one. We have 120,000 new cases per day. That is up 68% since last week. 60,000 people now per day need hospitalizations again. That is up over 200% from this time last week. Delta is the main strain that's still happening here. It's the Delta
Yeah,
variant.
this Omicron is supposedly not nearly as
It's more virulent.
it's more contagious, but it's
less
less
damaging.
severe.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they're starting to say now about Omicron. But this new winter bump, and apparently, I myself have been guilty of tuning all of this, stuff out. But apparently, they've been saying for months now that winter, it's going to come back up again as soon as people get together for Thanksgiving. As soon as people get together for this, we're going to see another spike, and Delta is going to come back, and that is what's happening. Omicron is now in 17 states. On the good side, 59.8% of all American citizens are fully vaxxed, and 78% of all American citizens have at least one shot. Now, that must seem completely absurd to people in Texas because that's 22%. They got to all be here in Texas because I don't know anybody here in Texas who's vaxxed yet. In
I
Illinois,
am.
you are. Yeah, you are. Right. I'm
Right,
kidding.
but I mean, and I live my life now. You don't. I do. I live my life now like I'm vaxxed, so I'm good. Like the other night when we were at Dave and Buster's, I was shocked you had your mask with you.
Yeah, I still wear my mask everywhere. I don't want to spread it to other people. I can still get it and I can still spread it. It's just
But don't you feel like until you get it, you don't have to worry about spreading it?
no, because you don't know you get it. It can gestate for 2 days, and you can still spread it in those days when you have it. It's just about being careful. I mean, I'm not as careful as I used to be, but absolutely, if I go around people, I'm going to wear my mask. And it's like I say to my kid, I go, it's not for us. We're okay. It's for them. It's so that if we accidentally do have it, we're not going to contribute to the spread.
So you're not afraid of getting it.
Oh, hell no. No, I was going to go for my booster tomorrow, but I got a little bit sick last night, so I'm going to probably wait till Thursday to go and get my booster. No, I'm not afraid of getting it. I feel like
You're just wearing it for that 2-day period where you don't know you have it.
Yeah. Yeah. And now because I'll be fully boosted, I'll never know if I have it. When you're fully boosted, it just doesn't affect you. You could be walking around with it. I'm not getting tested.
See, I kind of feel like right now, okay, if I'm walking around, I'm going to walk around without a mask because I am fully vaccinated. If I wasn't fully vaccinated, I think that I should have to wear a mask.
The mask ain't going to protect you from getting it. We know that. The mask
Well,
protects you
no,
from
but
spreading it.
because I am more contagious, I would think, because I'm not vaccinated.
Right. So it's a line of defense for sure. But the mask is more so that the people wearing the mask can't spread it to others. You are not exhaling with the mask. The spread is when you exhale next to somebody in line at Starbucks and then they breathe in what you've exhaled. The mask is more for other people than it is for me. I'm vaccinated. I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like I like I'm vaccinated, and I think if you're vaccinated and you're wearing a mask out in public, if you're doing that to protect other people from getting COVID, I just think that's nuts.
No, it's the responsible thing that we're being asked to do. It is we are
Where
trying
are
to
we
stop
being
the spread.
asked to do it?
The CDC, the government, that's why every restaurant you go into, people are still wearing masks.
The servers are wearing masks.
Yeah, for the same
But
reason,
the
so that
people
they don't
sitting
spread it
down
to
at the
customers.
table are not wearing
No,
masks.
that's because it's their personal choice, and as it turns out, we've got
Well, but
freedom
you
in
can't
America.
wear a mask while you're eating in public restaurant. I mean,
No,
what are
when
you
you
gonna put
take
it
it
on in between bites?
no, yes, exactly. You be reasonable about it. It doesn't have to be ridiculous. We're trying to open up. We're trying to get back to normal as best we
See,
can.
I think that I mean, I'm down for everybody getting vaxxed, but I think this mask craziness of having to wear it everywhere when we've shown that basically whether you have a mask or don't have a mask, you're gonna get it. I don't understand that. Other than
I could have it right now. I have not been feeling well the last couple of days, but it's
well,
not
then you
kicking my
wear a
ass.
mask.
Well,
I mean,
I
I'm for
always
it if
wear
you
a
don't
mask.
feel good,
Yeah.
but I'm saying if you're feeling normal, I don't and you're vaccinated, I don't think you need to be wearing a mask. If you're not vaccinated,
And I'm telling you that flies in the face of all the advice of the scientists and doctors. You wear the mask to protect others, not yourself. And Adam says you should be vaccinated, and if you're not, it's okay. When you're vaccinated, you could be contagious for as little as 4 to 12 hours. That's one thing that he's heard. That is not necessarily what everybody agrees. But Adam, you could be fully vaccinated as I am. You could have it and have absolutely zero indication that you have it because I'm vaccinated. It's not kicking my ass. It's not even showing up. I just maybe feel normal.
that's why you need
And
to get
therefore you can spread
vaccinated
it.
then.
Right. Right. But
Why
you
do
can
us
still
people
spread.
that are
Wait,
vaccinated
hold on,
need to
dude.
walk around masked?
Why do people who are vaccinated need to walk around masks? Is that your question?
Yeah.
Because when you're vaccinated, you may not know you have it, and you could still spread it to other people who are not vaccinated. And then that continues the
But
spread.
I'm not going to walk around with a mask on, not knowing I have something because I might have something that I don't know I have. I mean, that just seems idiotic.
Yeah, what's also irresponsible. I am trying to
It's
be
not
responsible
irresponsible.
and
What's
do my part.
irresponsible is not getting vaccinated.
True, true. But look, we're at a point now where that ship has sailed. People who are not getting vaccinated are not getting vaccinated. So me wearing a
So
mask
because
is for
people are
them.
not vaccinated, you're trying to save them
Yes. Yes, I'm trying to
by
be
wearing a
responsible.
mask. So you're going to wear, I
Absolutely.
guess you're going to wear a mask continually until Delta just works its way out of here.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. That is what we're being asked to do. That is a part of being a responsible citizen, to try and do your part to quell the
Well, I
spread.
guess half of Texas or all of Texas isn't responsible because I don't see anybody wearing masks.
They're not. Well, I see people. There were a lot of people with Dave and Buster's wearing masks. There were. I mean,
But I believe
you're
that those
absolutely
are
right.
people that are afraid of getting the vax or getting the disease or going home to elderly people.
Well, that's a whole other thing. Dr. 5150 says exactly what the doctors are saying. The vaccinated are the weapon. The vaccinated are the ones that don't know they have it, that are now spreading it to the unvaccinated who are getting them sick. Because we're vaccinated, we're not feeling the effects. Even though we have it, we're still spreading it. So it's
Right.
just
So
courtesy. It's
so
just
we're
being
supposed to go
socially
around as the vaccinated and change our whole life because we got people that don't want to believe the medicine
Yeah.
and we're just going to wear masks for the rest of our lives? No.
Well, let's hope it's not the rest of our lives, but yeah, until we're not through this idea that we're through it. I mean, as long as people are not
Dude,
going to
we
get
watch people
vaccinated,
play
the spread will
football.
continue.
We watch people play football. We
Mhm.
watch people play basketball. You go to Mavs games now. There are people sitting next to each other with seats on that are not wearing and seats
No.
that are not wearing masks.
No. And we're up 68% since last week. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
But when you look at if you watch ESPN, you're not seeing the crowd masked.
No. And we're up 68%. We're up 200% as far as hospitalizations. Yeah, you're not. You're right. We're not. I mean, what's your point?
My point is get the vaccination, and if
Get
you
the
don't, you
vaccination.
get sick and you die.
Right.
I'm sorry, you just
But okay.
didn't listen to the medicine.
Okay, see, and that's where I separate from you, because I actually do care that it continues to spread and that it continues to kill people. I am thinking of the social responsibility to end this thing. Now, we are not going to get everybody vaccinated. That 22%, they're dug in. They are never going to change. So that means that as they're walking around, they are vulnerable. They're the most vulnerable. But just because they're idiots doesn't mean that I want them to die. I could be walking around with coronavirus fully vaxxed, not knowing that I have it and giving it to people.
I'm not wishing them death, but I am not.
You just don't care. You're like, whatever, it's their problem.
I don't care because they don't care.
Well, but that's not a proper way to look at it. Just because someone doesn't care if they live or die doesn't mean that you shouldn't care if they live.
No, they don't care. They think if they get it, they're going to be able to live through it.
Look, if we all got vaccinated, this thing would die off. This thing would die off. It wouldn't spread. It wouldn't kill people. It would die off rather quickly. But we're not all vaccinated, so it keeps spreading.
So you're prolonging it.
No, I'm not. I'm
wearing a mask.
No, I'm giving in to the fact that we are not going to change these people's mind, and we just need to continue and stay vigilant. And that's what it is. Stay the course. Stay vigilant.
But the longer it hangs around, the more variations you get. You had Delta, now you got Omicron. If it hangs on, you're going to get other mutated versions of it, and on and on and on. So
ones that are vaccination don't work.
So it's basically a war. No, it's basically a war of attrition between those that aren't wearing masks and those that are choosing not to get vaccinated.
See, the vaccination is not a force field, dude. We can still get it, and we can still
I get it. I know entirely that I can get it, but I'm not wearing a mask to protect myself from getting it because I'm vaccinated. Right. So I think if I get it, that the symptoms that I get are going to be less than if I wasn't vaccinated.
You'll be fine.
Well, I don't know that I'll be fine. Some people have died that have been vaccinated.
People in your life that are not, and I don't even know if they are, but will the people in your life that are not vaccinated be fine? I mean, you can get it, not know you have it because you're not wearing a mask, and then you give it to somebody you love, and you're like, oh, shit, they probably got it from me.
But they've chosen not to get vaccinated, so I'm not going to feel guilty if they get sick and die.
And there you go, and that's fine, and a lot of people feel that way. I, however, believe that we need to stop this. We need to stop the spread, and the only way to make it stop mutating, because the other thing about the variants and the mutations, every time a new variant or mutation comes, they have to freak out worrying if all of us who are vaccinated are still vaccinated from this new mutation. So that's why the spread needs to be stopped, because at some point, we're not going to be vaccinated anymore. It's not going to work on us anymore because it will have mutated, because it was passed by somebody who had the vaccine.
See, I think you've drank the Kool-Aid way too much. I think you get vaxxed fine, but I don't they don't make you wear masks in the CVS.
No, they don't make you, but everybody.
They don't make you wear masks in the Walgreens.
No, but look around. There are a lot. You go into a store. Let's go to a store. We'll take pictures. Every grocery store I go into, especially the ones around here, are easily 40% masks. And when you count the people who are working there, it's probably more than 50%. I mean, yeah, it's the people who are not wearing masks. I was very pleased to see that still to this day, people wear masks. You walk into a grocery store.
I think you're way overstating the amount of people that wear masks. If you work there, yes, you wear a mask. If you walk in there, nah.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Not like it used to be.
No, guys like you and me, middle-aged white guys, are not wearing masks. Women are wearing masks. Younger people are wearing masks. Yes, they are. And you're right. It's not everybody, but
you can go. I can tell you right now, you go to my kid's school in the morning, you'll see 500 people. Of the 500 people, I would say maybe 50 masks.
Byron Granger with some extremely dangerous hot takes. The vaccine causes the variants, is what he's saying. Jeff Glenn says, we will wake up one day and be back at square one. Yeah, we will. Absolutely. And I am not a fetishist on this. I believe that we need to keep going out. We need to open back up. Let's go out. Let's do it. I'm vaccinated. I'll wear my mask to stop the spread. But if I want to go out to dinner and eat, I'm going to go out to dinner and eat. If I want to go to a movie, I'm going to go to a movie. I'm not going to any longer stop living. However, I will be responsible in the actions that I take when in public. And that's really
See,
the
I
least they
don't
can
think
ask
you're
of us.
being I don't think you're being any more responsible than anyone else.
Well,
I
that's
think
maybe
I
because you
think you're
feel guilty
protecting
about it
yourself.
because you've never thought about it this way, and now you're
No,
thinking, "What am I
I don't
doing
feel
wrong?" And you're
guilty
being
at all.
impulsive.
I think you're protecting yourself. I don't think you're protecting anybody else.
Okay, and that's where you're wrong because the mask doesn't protect you. The mask protects you from spewing out.
There
It
are
doesn't
so
stop.
many people that are exposed to other people that are not wearing masks that you wearing your mask is not going to save anyone.
No, you're right. And we're up 120,000
So
per
if you
day,
just said I'm right, you're saying you're
68%.
wearing your mask in futility.
No, I'm wearing my mask because I'm not giving up. Because why give up? Why give up? Why not keep doing it? Doesn't matter. It's not, first of all, you're mask shaming, and that's some bullshit right
I'm
there.
not mask
You
shaming. I just
absolutely
don't
are.
I
And I
think
think it
that
has to do
people that
because
wear
you, as a
masks
reasonable man,
I
are
am
feeling a
not
little guilty.
now you're getting really out there. I am not mask shaming. I'm saying
Well,
people that wear masks, I think that they should wear them or they are entitled to wear them if they want to wear them. But I assume in my head that they're not doing it for me. They're doing it because they've got somebody at home or they may
oh,
themselves be
well,
highly susceptible.
and that is certainly the case with a lot of people. But you assuming, what happens when we assume? We make an ass out of you and me. You're wrong. You're assuming
I'm not,
wrong.
where's that
The
mass
majority
shaming? I'm
the
saying I
majority
don't
of
think you're any
informed
more responsible. And is that mass shaming? I don't think you're more responsible than me because you're choosing to wear one in public and vaccinated, and
yeah.
I'm choosing not to wear one in public and vaccinated. I just think
I
that
think
you're
you feel a
protecting
little bit
yourself.
I think you feel a little bit guilty about it in this
I don't feel
conversation, and you're
one bit of
wondering why.
guilt,
Well, then
dude.
good. Good
Zero.
job. Then why do you feel the need to tell me that I'm wrong? Because that's what you're doing. And but even though
I'm
you say
telling
you're
you
not
that
mask
you are
shaming, you
not
certainly are.
saving anybody from getting COVID because that person comes out of your presence and walks right next to me, and I could be giving them COVID.
Yeah. Yeah, you could. That's why you should be
Right.
wearing
So
a
you're not
mask.
doing your mask wearing isn't helping one bit.
My mask wearing is helping me if I in fact.
That's what I just said. It's helping you, but it's not helping anybody else.
Well, of course it is. What if I have it? What if I don't know I have it? And what if I am spreading it without knowing it? And I wouldn't know it because I'm vaccinated. That makes perfect sense.
We could all walk around the world and go, what if? So basically, you're saving lives for something that you
Yeah.
don't know that you have.
Why do you wear a seatbelt? What if you get into a car accident? That's why
I
you
wear
wear a
a seatbelt
seatbelt.
because
What if?
if I get into an accident, it's going to do something. You're saying you're wearing a mask because you might get in, you're in an accident that you don't know you're in.
Yeah. Bill says I wear my mask to protect me like the medical professionals have for 100 years. No, surgeons wear masks during surgery so that they don't expose the patients to whatever it is that they're breathing. The masks that are worn in surgery are to protect the patient from the surgeon. It's a sterile environment. It's
Your
not
argument is I'm wearing this mask because I might be in an accident that I don't know that I'm in, and
Oh,
therefore I saved myself
yes.
possibly.
Yes. No, not myself, other
Other
people.
people.
Yes, I am trying. Look, let's forget about other people, okay? Fuck other people. I am trying to stop the spread. I'm trying to do my part as a responsible citizen to stop the spread. And if we all took that and tried to individually stop the spread might stop a little because it's not stopping.
The only way that's going to work is if everybody does it for
Well,
30 days. It's not going to work
well,
if you're doing it and I'm not, and the guy
well, I'm
down the
glad
street's
you
doing
think
it.
that. I'm glad you think that. The doctors don't, but okay. I'm
What do you
glad
mean?
that's
Show
what you
me
think.
some information that people are saying that this works.
Why should shall I just go? No, we've
You
got
wearing your mask is stopping who from getting the disease? You don't know.
somebody that I could pass it on to.
You don't specifically know.
No, of course not. What, I gotta care about the individual personally? I mean, what are you saying? Yes, I wear the mask when in public and around
All
other
these
people,
companies
strangers.
that are mandating the vaccines. If you get the vax, you don't have to wear your mask to work. If you don't get the vax, you have to wear a mask and you also have to be tested. So how are they helping further your cause or anybody's cause that's choosing to wear a mask because they think they're preventing the spread?
You're being wildly self-centered. I am telling you,
I'm not being wildly. I'm just.
You're
I'll
only
say. I'll
concerned about
quote
yourself.
Texas Instruments. Texas Instruments policy is if you get the vaccination, you don't have to wear a mask at work. If you don't get the vaccination, you have to wear a mask at work. And not only do you have to wear a mask at work, you have to be tested weekly. Okay, so let's just take that body of people, not AMOL, not Pugs. Let's take that body of people. Texas Instruments is a large employer. Everybody that's got vaccinated goes into work and they interact with other people. People that possibly have it and don't know they have it, your situation, because they've been vaccinated, and they pass it from person that's vaccinated to person that's vaccinated to person that's vaccinated. For whatever reason, they're making people that are unvaccinated wear masks. If you're saying that the people that are unvaccinated are not protecting themselves, they're protecting the other people from spreading, why then wouldn't they make the people that are vaccinated wear that mask?
Fully vaccinated people who do become infected can transmit to others. Therefore, fully vaccinated people can further reduce their risk and liability of transmitting to others by wearing a mask indoors or in public areas. That is what the CDC says, and that is what I'm following.
And okay, but the world is not following that.
No, they are not. So if
your effort
murdering people left and right, we should all start murdering people left and right.
It's not about murdering people.
I'm not I'm a fucking leader. I mean,
you're not a lead. You're losing. No. There's not a company
sometimes
in town in Texas.
There's morality. Sometimes there's a moral victory in falling on.
But there's not a company in Texas that is mandating people wear masks to work after they get vaccinated.
That's fine. That doesn't mean that I don't continue to do what I am reading from experts is the proper thing to do. That's all. I mean, you got the vax and you think you got the force field and you don't care.
No, I don't think I have the force field, but I'm not gonna.
You don't care if you spread it to other people because you're taking.
It's not that I don't care that if I spread it to other people, I don't know that I have it, so therefore I don't know that I'm spreading it. So
ignorance is bliss. Is your argument.
The only way you're gonna make anybody do it is everybody needs to get tested every week.
What? No.
What do you mean, no?
All you can do is do yourself, do your part, do what little part you can do to try and quell the spread. And that's what that's about.
You're following the orders to the T, and unfortunately, there's about 2% of you that are following the orders to the T, and the other 90% of the population are not.
As Jeff says, I am following best practices. That's exactly all I'm doing. Not doing any more, not doing any left. I'm not insane about it. I instruct myself and my kid to wear the mask in public when you're moving through crowds and around people. But when you're just around the people you're with, you can take it off. You can be comfortable. We don't have to be Nazis about it. There's no reason to make this any more intrusive than it is. But it is each and every one of our responsibility to do our little part.
I mean, that's like wearing a condom sometimes.
Okay, and that's stupid.
That's how you're handling that. Yes, you are. You're just as likely to transmit it.
And you're wearing a condom never, and you're frequenting bathhouses because no one.
No, you and I are going to the same places. We're going to the same places, and I'm coming home with whatever was there without a mask on, and you're coming home with whatever was there with the mask on.
Your disconnect is you keep going back to yourself. I'm not worried about coming home with whatever is there. I'm worried about possibly spreading something I unknowingly have. You keep going back to
1,000 people in there. No, it's not me. There's 1,000 people in there that are wearing.
You just said you're worried about coming home with whatever was there.
No, you are.
No,
I'm not.
Just said you.
I'm not worried about it.
Well, then you're not listening. I'm not worried at all. I'm vaccinated. I've got the seatbelt. I'm fine. I am worried about not knowing I have something and then going to Dave & Buster's and giving it to a bunch of little kids that I stand next to.
That you don't know that you did. You're never going to know.
What is this disconnect? So if ignorance is bliss, again,
no, it's not ignorance is bliss. I'm not going to walk around the world going, oh, I may have COVID, therefore I'm going to wear a mask. I may have tuberculosis. Am I wearing a mask? I may have cancer. I may have any of those things. I'm not going to wear anything to prevent what I think I may or have. Until I know I got it, there's no point to wear a friggin' mask.
Cancer is not the thing that's being spread.
Whatever. I'm just saying any spread, any disease that's communicable through air. Anything that's through air. I may have anything you could pick up through air.
Yes, you could. And hopefully it's just a flu. But we live in a time when it's not just the flu. So we have to be extra cautious. You seem to be arguing that we're done, we're through it, forget it, fuck the people who aren't vaccinated.
I'm not saying we're done, we're through it. I'm saying the vaccine is the seatbelt. The mask is bullshit.
Yeah, but you're not mask shaming. Let's make that
clear.
No,
I'm not mask shaming. It's not going to save me, and it's not going to save somebody else.
Save you. It's absolutely not going to save you.
It is not going to save anybody else.
Absolutely not going to save you.
And it's not going to save anybody else.
It is going to stop the spread should I possibly have it.
That is not saving anybody.
It is stopping the spread. Nobody's talking about saving.
I don't have a save the spread, dude. You're stopping something that you can't even tell me you have.
Right. Ignorance is
so that is not
I guess if I don't know, I can't spread it if I don't know. That's your argument here.
No, it's not I can't spread it if I don't know. If I spread it and you don't have the vaccine, too bad, so sad. That's your problem.
And there's
another is the seatbelt.
And there's another disconnect. Not too bad, so sad, because now you've got it, and now maybe it's mutating, and now it's keeping it going. I am trying to stop it from going.
You are not doing it. You're actually prolonging it.
Okay.
By wearing the mask.
Work that through. How am I actually prolonging
because it? You're preventing you're preventing people that are not vaccinated from not getting it. And it's those people that are choosing not to get it, the vaccination.
So you think they should get it?
That's the way that we're going to get rid of it.
No, that's not how. That's how it's going to never go away. It's going to
mutate,
and they're going to pass it to another 10 people, and it's going to
eventually, all the people that are not vaccinated need to get this, and then it's going to go away.
You've been watching Fox News. That's a Fox News.
No,
argument.
It's not Fox News. But I mean, supposedly that you're supposedly if you've had it.
Right.
Supposedly, if you've had it, this is CDC. Supposedly, if you've had it for a period of time after you've gotten rid of it, you have these antibodies which prevent you from getting rid of it, getting it again. And then once you've been far enough outside of that period, you can yet get it again. So it's everybody eventually getting it in a time period.
We're good. Regardless of the mask shaming, I will continue to do my part as a responsible
individual. It's not mask shaming. Wow, you're jumping out. You're turning bullshit. Really lefty.
No, I'm actually not. I'm being responsible. And you know what? You're turning a little bit hard right. You're turning a little bit hard right.
I am not turning hard right. Yeah, I'm just saying you're in a percentage of people that are not wearing masks. They're wearing masks to prevent something they don't even know they're preventing.
Adam says, how can both of them be wrong? I mean, I know how he can be wrong, but how am I wrong? LOL, Adam. Again, now Adam is mask shaming. no, Adam.
That's a cool buzzword for you, mask shaming. I'm not mask shaming. I'm saying people that are going around wearing masks.
Your attempt is to make me feel bad for doing something that is responsible.
I'm not telling you you're feeling bad. I'm telling you that you think you're doing good, and you're not preventing the spread.
I don't know that I'm doing good or not.
Exactly.
I'm doing exactly what is being asked of me by people who are far smarter than me on this subject. That's what I'm doing.
If that's what they're asking people to do, why is there not a mask mandate at the AAC?
Oh, really? Oh, really? Why? Why isn't there a
Why isn't there one in Michigan? Pick your state.
There would have been one a year ago.
Pick your state.
It wasn't for people like those here in the state of Texas.
Pick your blue state. Why there's not a max mandate where the Rams play in California?
How do you know? How do you know?
I know. I see people in the stands. Watch ESPN.
Because I watch Bulls games and everybody's wearing masks at the UAC, at the United Center.
That's not an NBA required thing.
I don't. Well, I wouldn't know if it's an NBA required thing. What would the NBA have to say about the people?
Well, because they tried to make that a required thing at the AAC, and it's no longer.
you're a terrible person. I'm a good person. I'm doing my best to try and stop the spread. We were going to go into all of I guess the numbers are wrong. Look, I don't want everyone to be mandated to get the vaccine. I think that ship has sailed. We lost that fight. All we can do now is just individually try and do whatever we can to stop the spread in our own little universe. And if people do that, maybe that'll work. Maybe it's time to try that. You are just living life like it's over. It's fine.
I'm
And
not
should
living
someone
life
you
like it's
love,
over. The world is not living life like it's over. I'm living life like I'm vaccinated, which is the way that everybody needs to live it.
and let's hope that you don't accidentally spread this to anybody that you love without even knowing it. But again, ignorance is
I'll
bliss.
never know it. That's
You
the
don't know.
idiotic
That's
point.
right. That's right.
I'll
And that's
never
all
know. So
right.
I'm not going to assume that I gave it to him if I don't think that I had it.
So it's all about you and your personal
It's
guilt.
not all about me.
It's not
If you
about the
don't know
actual
you have it, you
real-world
can't feel guilty for giving it to somebody.
No, but yet you've given it to somebody, even if you don't know. Even if
I
you
don't know
you've
until
given
I
it to
know.
somebody, but it only
You can
matters
say
to
that
you.
everybody's given it to somebody that's not wearing a mask. That's a really cool position for you to take, a mask wearer. Oh, you gave it to somebody because you're not wearing a mask, and I didn't because I am. That's stupid.
Giving it to somebody is the problem. Whether or not you're aware
you're
that you
taking
gave it to
the
somebody
moral
is
position.
irrelevant. Yes,
You're
it is a moral
taking this
position.
is you.
It's a
This is you non-mask shaming. You're taking the position that people that are not wearing masks are giving it to people without even knowing they're giving it to them. That just came out of your mouth.
Yes.
Right. So that is non-mask shaming.
I'll be quiet. Say it again. Say it again.
You are taking the position, non-mask shaming. This is you, the non-mask shamer. You're taking the position that people that aren't wearing masks are giving COVID to people without even knowing they're giving it to them.
I'm taking the position that that's possible. And you're
saying that's happening.
It is happening. I don't know if it's happening.
So therefore, you're taking the position. Non-mask shaming.
You're taking the position that it only matters if you know you gave it to somebody. If you don't know,
I'm not taking that position. I'm not taking the non-mask. You're non-mask shaming. You're saying that you know that people that are not wearing masks, that don't know they have it, are giving it to other people. Therefore, the non-mask wearing population is being irresponsible because they are passing disease.
I never said that.
Yes, you are.
I never said that.
You're saying you're being responsible.
Yes, I am. I'm
right.
doing
So the
non-mask.
Okay.
I'm not
if responsibility.
Have I ever said anything to you about it?
If responsibility
about it.
If responsibility comes with wearing the mask, irresponsibility comes without wearing the mask. We're not going to mince words here. Responsibility on your part comes with you wearing a mask.
Yes.
Right. So if you're not wearing a mask, you're irresponsible.
If that's how you feel about it. But I'm saying
you're certainly not responsible.
No. I am saying that
if you gain responsibility by wearing the mask.
For me, I am trying to take personal responsibility in my orbit to stop the spread by doing what they are saying are best practices. You are saying doesn't matter because if I were to get it and spread it to somebody and I never knew that I had it in the first place, who cares? And I'm saying
I'm not saying who cares. I'm saying that you are trying to make people that aren't wearing masks feel like, oh my God, I've got to wear a mask because something could happen that might happen that I don't even know happened. Therefore, you got to wear a mask. That's the sham.
And yet it happened. Doesn't matter if I know
proof that it happened. If you can show me people are giving people COVID without knowing they have it, then those people need to start wearing masks. But where's that happening? You're asymptomatic. Okay, so I'm asymptomatic. I don't know I have it, but I passed it to so-and-so. How did I pass it to so-and-so? And where did I pass it to so-and-so?
What is your end game here? To make you feel better about your choices?
I'm not trying to feel better. You think you're sitting on some high horse because you're choosing to wear a mask and people that aren't are irresponsible.
No,
That's what you said.
I think that you see me taking responsibility, and it's your own insecurity
I
about
don't
it
feel that you're taking
angry.
responsibility. I
You
think that
attacked me.
I think you're being overly cautious for yourself.
Thank you, Ross.
And you're
That's how the whole
couching.
thing started. The whole thing started with you attacking me, and I
I
never
didn't
said
start
anything
attacking
to you.
you. I think
I have
you're
never
being
once.
overly cautious wearing
Okay.
a mask. And I
If
think
this
you're
was-
doing it to protect yourself. You're
if the
not
way-
doing it for your good Samaritan reasons. I
I'm
don't
not doing it
believe
to
that.
protect myself. Okay, well that's
I
fine.
believe you're doing it to protect yourself.
Okay, and I'm telling you, you're wrong, and because it doesn't protect myself. My protection was with the vaccine, and you feel guilty upon hearing that you
No,
felt.
I don't feel guilty.
I've never
feel
said it.
zero
I never even
guilt.
thought to say anything to you about it. Yet you somehow have the need to bring it up because you don't
I
like
don't
that I
have
do
the
it.
need to
Well,
bring
guess
it up.
what?
I
Shut the
saw
fuck
you
up and
wearing a
deal with it.
mask the other day.
Right, and you decided to make fun of me for it.
I'm
That's
not
how this
making
whole
fun
thing
of
started.
you. I
This
think
whole
you're
thing
wearing
started
it
by
because
you
you're afraid
shaming
of
me.
getting COVID.
I am not afraid of getting COVID. I'm afraid of spreading COVID. And that is our disconnect.
I don't
That is what
believe that.
And there we are. That's fine.
Just saying, I don't
that's
believe
it.
you're afraid of it. I believe you're using the CDC guides to say that you're more responsible, but I don't think you're afraid of spreading it.
Well, okay.
I don't.
And I have no interest in trying to convince you because
You
I'm
don't
going
need
just-
to, but I'm not going to listen to
doing
people
me.
are irresponsible that aren't wearing masks. That's what you
that?
said.
Who said that? I said that.
You said you're being responsible, and
I-
people that aren't wearing masks are being not responsible. That's irresponsible.
Now I'm going to go back and air check this because I do it every day. I never said that. You put those words in my mouth.
What do you mean you didn't say that? You said you're being more responsible by wearing a mask.
As a matter of fact, I argued with you to not say it like that.
You just said it 5 minutes ago. You said you're being responsible wearing a mask.
Maybe you got me a little excited here, but no, my position is I don't give a shit what you do. I have never said anything to you about it. I don't care.
We're not talking about me. We're talking about your position is people that are wearing masks are responsible.
We are talking about me. So allow me to defend. I have never said anything to you. So obviously the fact that
you said shit to me or you don't say shit. I don't care.
That is irrelevant. That is irrelevant.
Right.
I have never said anything to you. Yet you felt the need to say something to me. That is the point.
I didn't feel the need to say something to you. I said I saw you wearing a mask, and I asked, why are you wearing a mask?
And I told you why.
And I said, I don't believe that you are wearing a mask because I don't believe that you wearing a mask is preventing anybody from getting COVID. That's what I said.
And I bet you there are a lot of things that you believe that I don't. So
no, I don't believe you wearing a mask is preventing anybody from getting COVID. Until you have COVID, you're not going to pass it.
Right.
And so you need 2 days to figure out whether you've got it. And so you're wearing a mask 4 days ago. If you don't have COVID today, didn't prevent anybody from getting it.
How do I know I didn't have COVID 2 days ago? How do I know that I haven't had COVID since Saturday?
Do you have it now?
Well, I'm vaccinated.
How long? So that's what I'm saying. You're going to go around. You're going to go around and you're going to live your life, and you want the rest of the world to live their life, not knowing they have something and passing something that they don't know.
There he is.
There's no resolution to your. There's no resolution to your problem.
No, there isn't. No,
right. So you're going to wear your mask for the rest of your life if you go around with your attitude. No, I don't know. I have it. I could be passing it to somebody, and that somebody could have gotten it from me, but we'll never know because I never know I had it. So therefore, I got to wear my mask for the rest of my life. That's your solution.
Byron Granger, the first few guys to wear an ascot, went through the same discrimination. That's absolutely right. Look, you are not somebody anymore after this conversation that I respect in this realm. So just...
I could give a shit whether you do or don't.
So we will not discuss this anymore.
I don't respect your opinion. Your opinion is I'm going to wear a mask because I'm passing something that I don't know. So when are you going to take off your mask?
I will take off my mask 160% jump by week. That's what I will.
Well, we didn't have a 160% jump 3 weeks ago.
No, yes, we did. We had an 80% jump last week. And this week it's double.
In order for them to determine that we've had a 160% jump, there had to be a 0 point before we got to 160.
We're fine. Look.
I'm asking you, when are you
what do you
going to
want
take
from
off
me?
your mask?
What do you
That's
want
the
from me
answer.
here? What is it? I don't know. I have no fucking clue when I'm going to take off my mask. When it seems like hospitals aren't being overcrowded again. When it seems like, and the experts say that we're through it. We're done. That's when I'll do it. But honestly, you're
Why
really becoming an
aren't the
asshole
people
now.
that I'm watching right now at the White House speaking, why don't they have a mask on like they used to have them on before?
They still do.
They
still
don't.
Yeah,
Are you telling me the guy in CNN right now that's talking, I don't see his invisible mask?
No, I'm watching him too. He is on a podium and he is alone. Look at the press. The press have masks and they pull it down to ask their questions and then they put them back on. He is alone and he is, look, man, this is a stupid conversation. I'm sorry you don't like my attempts to do whatever I have to do. I would never criticize
I
your
don't.
ways
It's not
of
that I
dealing with
don't
all
like
this.
your attempt. I just don't think your attempt is doing anything. You think it's doing
Okay,
something.
that's fine.
And I'm
Thank
telling
you.
you, how can you prevent somebody from getting something that you don't even know you have?
That is something. Oh, look at that. Oh, what do we got? We got a reporter. What is she wearing? What is she wearing?
She's forced to wear a mask into
because
the
she's
room.
sitting next to somebody. The guy who you pointed out wasn't wearing a
And
mask.
she'll go to a Bulls game tonight or a Wizards game tonight, and she'll be sitting next to somebody that doesn't have a mask.
All right, E, stop it. Just stop it. You're sound.
I mean, it's true.
No, you sound. Thank you. All right, that's it. We're out of here. Be back at 9:00 tonight, and we'll do pillow talk. No mask. This is look, everybody. Here's what you get from that argument. There are a lot of people with different opinions. Just do whatever the hell you're going to do. Hopefully, it's what you think is best. That's it. All right, we'll do the backstage thing as soon as the song is over, and we'll answer some of the questions in the chat room. Love you. Appreciate E. Good debate. Frustrating. And hopefully you'll join us for Pillow Talk tonight. James is going to be with us again. And that's it. We'll see you then. And remember, backstage session starts in very shortly. I am on a never-ending quest. All right, backstage time, where we get to here's what we do after the show. Now I like to hang out for a few minutes and talk to the people in the chat room and try and get, some of the things that I was not able to go through. Let's see here. Afternoon. Hello. Jeff Glenn, we were talking about the neighborhood here. He says the neighborhood probably has a HOA Christmas decoration committee that dictates what's acceptable decor and what isn't. Jeff, let me tell you something. There ain't no HOA in this neighborhood. You think you're going to tell a billionaire what he can and can't do on his $10 million property? No. HOAs are for neighborhoods that might have some trash in it. They're going to, build that giant purple fence. That's what an HOA is for. There ain't no HOA in this neighborhood. I promise you that. Let's see here. What else do we have? Byron's always good. So happy. Byron, 80th anniversary of Pearl Harbor. We covered that and why today is the rootin' tootin'est day that there is. Byron says the Vegas shooter guy. That's one that deserves a look. Yeah, man. Yeah, I was talking about how I took a deep dive. I fell into a Wikipedia hole and found myself looking at all the mass shootings in American history in the recent times. And I didn't. I stopped the Vegas thing. I stopped. The Plano one, the one that happened locally here in Plano, that was a big one. That was the one that really got my attention because I didn't remember the details on that. Let's see here. Jeff Glenn talks about Charles Whitman, University of Texas, 1966. Yeah, that's one of the biggest ones. The clock tower shooter. Ross Rubio agrees with me. Tom Waits sucks. Yeah, he does. Well, look, I don't know if he sucks. He's an artist. So, I don't really like to tell artists that they suck. It ain't for me. He's creating something from nothing. I didn't do that. is it for me to, I guess it's for me to say, yeah, I'll buy that or I won't. But I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, I don't get. I think that Tom Waits is a bit. By the way, he was born in the States. His birthday. I think he's a bit. I think that like he's so terrible that people who say they like him are just fooling us. It's like that's ridiculous. Let's see here. Yep, my video went out for a second. The cord came out. That was earlier. Let's see, what else do we have? Albert says that Biden has said, we're talking about the Biden-Putin call earlier. Putin's amassing an army on the Ukraine border, and Biden has said that if they cross over into the Ukraine, that he's going to get involved. But, look, Obama said that in 2014 with Crimea, and we did nothing. They just took Crimea. So we'll see how that goes. Let's see here. Okay, now a lot of sex club stuff. Adam says, Adam is, I guess, referring to the place that was over by the Lizard Lounge. He said, dude, I figured that was a gay spot there. I drop off and pick up only dudes there. Jeff says, I could see a straight guy letting Jesse tickle his pickle, but going to a gay bathhouse only happens if you're gay. Yeah, but, I hadn't really considered the option that he brought up, which was actually pretty bright. If the dude was providing Jesse Smollett with drugs, Jesse Smollett might have been in the gay bathhouse and, gave him a call and said, hey, man, I need some drugs. Can you deliver them here? And then the dude shows up with the drugs at the bathhouse. But the way it was presented on the stand was that they went to the bathhouse together. At least that's the way that I interpreted it. Not sure that's correct or not. I'd go to a bathhouse if I had a nice steam. Adam says, I'd go to a bathhouse if it had a nice steam room. I know I'm not gay and comfortable, and I enjoy a good steam. Plus, gay men in no way attracted to my fat ass. Oh, you'd be surprised, Adam. Chubby chasers. There's a whole subset of the gay phenomena. The chubby chaser. It's a big thing. And by the way, just go to a Turkish or a Russian bathhouses. Those are things that old men go to, and they're not gay. They're I don't know, just a weird cultural thing, but it is a thing. April says Jussie Smollett had 2 years to come up with a defense, and this one she doesn't believe one bit. All right, we'll move on from that. Yes, Byron says, didn't the brothers produce the check, the $3,500 check that Jussie Smollett paid them? Yes, they absolutely did, but the check was made out for supplements. So, I guess you're not going to write on the check to fake an assault of me on the coldest day of the year. But yeah, they did. They produced the check, Byron. So that's right. Unicard, Ross. That's right. That's what it was called in North Dallas when we would go to, you'd want to have a drink somewhere on Beltline back 20 years ago, and you couldn't just walk into a bar and drink. You had to join the club, and you had to have a Unicard. And then if I remember correctly, you'd keep that Unicard, you'd buy it or you'd get it at the first bar you went to, and then you could present it, right? You could present it at other bars that you might go to up and down Beltline. I don't know how long they were good for. Were they just good for the night, or were they good for a period of time? I don't know. But yeah, I remember that Unicard. I hadn't thought about that in a while. Adam says, Asians love spas. My friend who is Japanese went to a bachelorette party at one in Carrollton. My man Rick says, porn star Rebecca Steele goes to the King Spa in Carrollton. Just saying. Who's Rebecca Steele? I'm not as up on my porn stars as Rebecca Steele, porn star. That didn't work. Came up with Lexington Steele. I know that dude. He's from Dallas. He's a local. Let's see here. Rebecca Steele. Let's get a look at her. Totally spelt that wrong. All right. Who is Rebecca Steele? she like an old time. She must be an old timey porn star. She looks like she's a little bit weathered. Is all I'm saying. What else do we have? Let's see here. Oh God, now we get into all the vaccination stuff. Look, I'm not gonna. It would be unfair for me. We just had a really nice debate, so it would be unfair to me to go into any of your comments on the things that we just discussed between E and I. That was a really good That was a really good discussion, a good debate. So unfair of me without him being here to say anything about it, because I appreciate the sparring. It's always good to have a little bit of mental back and forth, a little bit of verbal jousting. Okay, that's it. We're going to be back at 9 o'clock tonight for Pillow Talk. Now, what are we going to do on Pillow Talk tonight? Well, there were a lot of things that we didn't do last night. Like, we spent pretty much the whole show doing the what football players are hot as women or what quarterbacks are hot as women. So that kind of took the whole show. I imagine we might get into the Jussie Smollett conversation with James Parker. I know that he's got some great takes on that. Also, I want to do that. 2021 is coming to an end, and I've got this celebrity death reel. There are so many celebrities who died this year. People you totally forgot died. Hey, guess what? Do you know what I found out? I was working on my celebrity death reel, and guess who I stumbled across? Guess who's still alive? Guess who's still alive? It made me think that I need to do the dead or alive game. We need to bring up the dead or alive game. Would you guys have bet money that Dabney Coleman is still alive? I would have bet all the money that I have that Dabney Coleman is dead. I would have assumed he died years ago. Dabney Coleman is still alive. Dabney Coleman. Remember that guy? He was like a big actor. He always played a mean guy. He was the mean boss in 9 to 5. And he's in a whole bunch of things. He's Dabney Coleman. He was awesome. He was a massive, massive working actor between like 1975 and 1990. He had a show that was really good and nobody watched it on TV because it was really good. Like, it was too good. Like, people were like, Buffalo Bill is what it was called. That show was great. I stumbled across the fun fact that Dabney Coleman is still alive. Blew my mind. So, tonight I want to do my death reel. Let's see, what else do we got? What else do we have here? Oh, there were some other things. Oh, there's a really interesting story that I found about Judd Apatow and Will Ferrell, who used to run a production company together, and they produced so many great movies and so many. Oh, not Judd Apatow. I apologize. Adam McKay and Will Ferrell. What was it? Can't remember the name of their. We'll find it. Hold on. Oh yeah, racist celebrities too. I got this, or racist rock stars. I got this whole article on racist rock stars throughout the years, so we could talk about that. Gary Sanchez, that's what it was. Gary Sanchez Productions was the teaming of Will Ferrell and Adam McKay, and they produced tons of great stuff. I think most recently, Succession on HBO is a Gary Sanchez, Adam McKay, Will Ferrell co-production. They had a falling out. Adam McKay and Will Ferrell had a falling out. I got some details on that. I didn't know about this. So that was interesting. I thought we could talk about that too. Still haven't gotten to my Playboy Mansion life. That's a good one. So we got a lot of stuff that we can get to tonight. So hope you come join us at 9 o'clock. That's the Pillow Talk edition. Thank you so much for joining me here. Like I say, we do this every day, twice a day. We do it at noon, Monday through Friday. And then we come back and we do it at 9 o'clock every night, all time central, 9 o'clock, Sunday through Thursday. Have a good one, everybody. And I appreciate you. I just realized that whole time the camera was off. I'm sorry. I don't. Nah. Love you. Bye.